What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City live stream watch along. Today we're going to be doing the FA Cup third round live watch along between Manchester City and Huddersfield Town at the Etihad Stadium here for this FA Cup clash. So before I do crack on with this live stream, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. As you can see, we're now less than 200 subs away from my goal of 33,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Who knows, during this stream, we could be less than 100 subscribers away from that goal, so any help towards that would be fantastic. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to go and leave a thumbs up. That would be brilliant. We're aiming for 100 likes. We're already now 91 likes away from, now 90 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be fantastic. And also don't forget to get your thoughts in the live chat as well, including where you're tuning in from today and also your score prediction for this game. I can already see we've got Boy Racer in the chat saying liking the lineup, youth and players who need a run out there, a little bit of a mixture coming in from Manchester City. We will of course go through the starting 11 in just one moment. We've also got Teddy in the chat as well, going for a 4-0 victory today to Manchester City. I certainly hope so. That would be a fantastic result. We've also got Brandon in the chat as well. Welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, as I said, it is Manchester City taking on Huddersfield. Manchester City, of course, the current treble winners, were the current holders of the FA Cup as well, looking to try and retain the trophy for the first time ever. That journey towards trying to retain our trophy starts today, January 7th, 2024, with this game against Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield Town, of course, competing in the Championship, find themselves in 21st, one position above the relegation zone in the Championship, so hard work for them for the remainder of the season. It's a free hit here at Manchester City. 6,000 travelling Huddersfield fans doing the short trip over the Pennines to the Etihad Stadium for this game. They're going to be well up for it. Manchester City going with a decent team as well, looking to try and retain their trophy. They're going to be up for it as well. Hopefully it'll be a good game and hopefully a win for Manchester City, and we can progress into the fourth round of the FA Cup with them ties taking place in the last weekend of January, which, you have a look at Man City's schedule, is why Man City aren't playing as many games in January. That is the reason. So we're going to go and have a look at the starting 11 for this game. We're going to start off with our opponents, Huddersfield Town, lining up with a 3-5-2 formation led by manager Darren Moore, former Sheffield Wednesday manager. Got them promoted last season from League One into the Championship before leaving in the summer. They're lining up with goalkeeper Lee Nichols in goal, a back three made up of Tom Lees, Michael Hellick and Brodie Spencer. They go in with Alex Matos as their right wing back, Ben Jackson as their left wing back, a midfield three made up of Romani Edmonds-Green, Ben Wild and Jack Rudoni, and starting with two attackers up top, Josh Karoma and Sorba Thomas, led by captain Michael Hellick. On the substitute bench today for Huddersfield Town, they're going with backup goalkeeper Jayasu Belagambi. Also got Loic Aina, Thomas Edwards, Michael Stone, Tom Ayerpenda, Brahima Diarra, Josh Austerfield, Bojan Radulovic and Kyle Hoodlin as well is the Huddersfield squad for this game. For Manchester City, onto our starting 11, also going with three at the back. It's going to be a 3-4-2-1 formation for City today. Is Stefan Ortega-Moreno starting in goal, with a back three made up of Manuel Akanji on the right-hand side, Josko Gvardiol on the left-hand side, and Ruben Dias going through the middle. It's going to be Rico Lewis sitting alongside Mateo Kovacic and Sergio Gomez in what I suspect will be more of a midfield three. Potentially Phil Foden playing behind the striker with Oscar Bobb on the right-hand side, Jack Grealish on the left-hand side, and Julian Alvarez starting up top. City led today by captain Ruben Dias with manager Pep Guardiola. On the bench for Manchester City, a very strong bench coming in. I wonder how long it's going to take the commentator to mention just how much Manchester City's bench is worth. City on the bench today, Ederson, Nathan Ake, Kyle Walker, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Matheus Nunes, Jeremy Doku, Mika Hamilton and Jacob Wright. Firstly, Mika Hamilton back into the squad. Thumbs up from me. Very happy with that. Also fantastic to see youngster Jacob Wright getting into the Manchester City squad for the first time today and could be making his Manchester City debut, his competitive debut for the club as well, which would be absolutely brilliant to see. I imagine City will be assessing how the game is progressing, how the game is going, and if you need to bring on the big hitters, bring the big hitters on. If the game's going well, you can bring on the likes of Wright and Hamilton. Kevin De Bruyne back on the bench as well for Manchester City. Today could be the day that we see Kevin De Bruyne make his competitive return for the first time this season for Manchester City. Also great to see the return of Jeremy Doku into the squad, but the big absentee, of course, Erling Haaland. John Stones still out injured, probably not going to be back until the end of January, and you will notice that Bernardo Silva, he's out with an illness, but Matheus Nunes has recovered from his illness and back in the Manchester City squad for today. Strong team that for Manchester City. I think the City players can get the job done. I'm thinking either a 2 or a 3-0 victory today. I don't think it'll be both teams to score. I can see City keeping the clean sheet. So I think I'm going to go safe and go with a 2-0 rather than the 3-0. I think it'll be a couple of first half goals and City will look to coast in the second half. And I'm going to go for goals today for Phil Foden to continue his good form and also Julian Alvarez to score the other goal for Manchester City. Lutaya, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated tuning in from Uganda, going for a 4-0 victory today for Manchester City. We've got Kingsley tuning in as well from Cameroon. Much appreciated. Welcome, Kingsley. Going for a 5-0 victory today for Manchester City. So loving the optimism here. We've got a couple of 4-0s, a 5-0 as well. We've also got Edmund in the chat as well. Much appreciated. Do hope you are well. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated. As I said, please do leave a thumbs up. We are aiming for 100 likes. We're now 86 likes away from 100. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you are new around here. That would be much appreciated. Now less than 200 subs away from my goal of 33,000 subscribers. If you are watching in the UK today, the game is being broadcast live on BBC. It's not on terrestrial television, so that we have I think it's 4 channels that are available for broadcast free of charge, which is BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 3 and BBC 4. Manchester City aren't live on any of them. They are live on iPlayer for everybody to watch in the UK. I think they're live on one of the Sky channels as well that you can go and check out. And I think any game that isn't being broadcast live today on terrestrial television is live and available on the streaming platforms, whether that be the ITV Hub or BBC iPlayer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly sure I am right with that. But certainly today's game, this Man City Huddersfield game, if you're not going to the ground and you are watching in the UK, you can watch live on BBC iPlayer. I'm going for a 2-0 victory today for Manchester City. Do get your score predictions in the live chat and do get in where you are tuning in from as well. That would be much appreciated. I'm just going to get the game locked and loaded. It is a sellout crowd today at the Etihad Stadium. Great to see the City fans turning up in great numbers once more. Another sellout match against lower opposition as well. These used to be the games where you may find the odd empty seat knocking about here or there. Manchester City tickets, very much a case of hot in demand. They're the must-watch team, the treble winners. It's getting more and more difficult to be able to get hold of tickets for Manchester City, and it's great to see another sellout crowd, and also kudos to them 6,000 Huddersfield fans travelling down to the Etihad Stadium for this game as well. A short hop over the Pennines from West Yorkshire into East Manchester for this game. So I'm just having a look to see if I can find where the game actually is live. So please do bear with me for just one moment whilst I do find that for you guys. And then we should be good to go, which will be good. Today's choice of drink, just on a simple Coca-Cola, nothing exciting. Is a Sunday, working day tomorrow, so nothing extravagant and nothing exciting for JSGC, unfortunately. So just going with a Coke. Still struggling to find it. We will find it. We will get there. We will find it. We'll make sure a live watch along does happen. FA Cup. I'm not sure what time it starts broadcasting, to be fair, to know. At the moment, struggling to find it. I'm not sure. Let me check my phone. I might have to go at my phone instead. Anyway, yeah, bear with me while we get that sorted. As I said, broadcast might not start until a little bit later. It's a bit easier to look on my phone than it is on the television to find out what is actually happening. I'm not sure where it is, to be honest. Strange, very strange. Let me factually check what I was saying that it is correct. Yeah, live on BBC iPlayer, this Man City Huddersfield game. I'm not too sure why it's not popping up at the moment. Anyway, kickoff is at 2 p.m. and 13 minutes away. Not that I'm worried that it's not going to be on here, but I'm not too sure where it is, but there we go. Alec, thanks for tuning in, says watching and working at the Etihad. It's cold, very cold today. It is January, is what I keep telling myself, to try and get over the fact that it is so cold here in the United Kingdom. It is January, it's always going to be cold. It's just one of them things, just how it is, isn't it? In the meantime, I'm just going to get the last thing just prepared and sorted for you guys. And then we are good to go for the stream. And I'm still waiting on BBC to actually put the game on, which is frustrating. So, in the meantime, in terms of this game, I think Manchester City are going to be too strong for Huddersfield today. It's a very strong team. I don't see how Huddersfield cause Man City too many problems. Obviously, they're going to sit really tight and sit in them gaps, and they're going to try and limit the space for Manchester City. A patient build-up, try and frustrate City. Can they muster something on the counter-attack, muster up a couple of opportunities, put one of them away, and hope that Manchester City don't have their shooting boots on? Maybe the approach here for Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield will sit there and say, do you know what? We may go out today. What they want is for them to put up a fight, to play a good game, go toe-for-toe with Manchester City, show no fear, give it their all, because you can't ask for more than that. And it is a wonderful chance for these Huddersfield players. The world's watching. Manchester City are watching. It's a great chance for some of these players to really make a name for themselves and showcase what they can do, why they should be playing on a regular basis for Huddersfield Town. Can they show off to everybody else if they're trying to earn a new contract at Huddersfield, or are they trying to find a move elsewhere and push their footballing career beyond and into the Premier League? You know, these games are good scouting opportunities for big teams. So we'll see what Huddersfield can do about that. We'll have to wait and see. Rightio, so I'm just getting my halftime video sorted for you guys. So you are going to see something, and then it's going to go off very quickly. So do bear with me for that whilst I do get that.
What's going on, guys? Mix.
There you go, a little teaser for you guys to enjoy whilst I just get that one all ready and sorted for half-time for you guys to enjoy. Of course, half-time entertainment, as always, brought to you by my partner channel, Mixed. You can go and check them out. Links and details, they are in the description. So that's that all sorted. As I said, we're just waiting for the broadcast to start for this game. I can't find it. Am I doing something wrong? I don't know. I don't know why it's not showing up. Maybe someone can enlighten me. Ray, you're in the same position as me. Grimmy says there's no streams anywhere. The player is messed up. I'm glad I'm not the only person that's can't find it on BBC iPlayer. I don't know what's happening or why it's not available. I'm going to have another scout, see if I can find something. I'm not too sure what is happening. Teddy, I live in the United Kingdom. Wildcats Island, thanks for tuning in. Says watching on ESPN in the Bronx. Love that one. Tuning in from New York in the United States of America. Dudley going for a 4-0 victory today for Manchester City. Loving the positivity. Maybe am I being negative going for just a 2-0? I think Huddersfield are going to park the bus. I think they're just going to sit there and sit tight. I don't think they're going to come out and play. I think if Man City grab a goal early on, I think they're just going to sit there. They're not going to come out to play. They're just going to want to keep the score down. There's nothing to be achieved here for Huddersfield to get smacked 6-7 goals. That demoralises them. That's not what they're looking for. They want to put up a fight. They want to put up a performance. They do that. That may just cause Man City 1 or 2 headaches, and they can take confidence from that as they look to try and stay in the FA Cup. And then they try and stay in the Championship as well. We will see. And what we don't want, of course, from the City point of view, is for there to be a massive, massive scalp and Huddersfield end up knocking Manchester City out of the FA Cup. That is not what we want. That's what Manchester City have to try and avoid. So hopefully we can grab an early goal. We treat this like a Premier League game. You score a goal, you keep pushing, you get that killer 2-goal cushion, you keep pushing, grab a third, kill the game off. Sooner we get 3 goals, if we do get 3 goals, but the sooner we do get to 3 goals, the better. It will put Manchester City in an all-round solid position to make it through to the 4th round. I'm not too sure when the draw is, actually. Let me just have a quick Google to see when the FA Cup 4th round draw is, should Manchester City go through. Remember, if it is level at full time today, it will go to a replay and we'll go to the John Smith Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. We don't want that either. So, FA Cup draw, according to the standard, says it takes place tomorrow, Monday night. Penciled in the draw to start at 7:50 p.m. GMT ahead of the match between Wigan Athletic and Manchester United, which kicks off at 8:15 p.m. GMT. Wigan, of course, love playing Manchester City, and if that was us travelling to the DW Stadium, I'd be sweating because they are absolutely phenomenal when it comes to playing against Manchester City in the FA Cup. I don't know why. So I'm really happy that it's not Wigan Athletic, that it's Manchester United that have to go to the DW Stadium. And wouldn't it be brilliant for Wigan to knock Manchester United out? Although, if you used to say to me, would I rather face Wigan Athletic or Manchester United in the 4th round? I think I'd rather play Man United than I would Wigan, if I'm being completely honest. So maybe I want Man United to go through, because if we end up drawing them, it'll be an easier draw than it would facing Wigan. We will see. Grimmy says, just come up on iPlayer, proper pain to find, fantastic. We'll get that up then as soon as we can. Julia, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Manchester City fan says, today was National Election Day in Bangladesh. Bangladesh in the room, much appreciated, thanks for tuning in. And Colonel Ward says, I enjoyed watching you on Martin's channel, Mancunian Way. Who do I reckon's going to win in the Arsenal-Liverpool game taking place later on today or this afternoon? Thank you very much for tuning in. Love working with Martin, love going on the Mancunian Way. He's a City fan legend and does wonders for the Manchester City online community. So big up Martin, big shout out to him. Go and check him out. Go and subscribe. Go and watch his stuff over at the Mancunian Way. Legend. Who do I reckon's going to win between Arsenal and Liverpool? I reckon it's going to be a narrow Arsenal victory by 2-1 is what I'm going for that game. So I'm going for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. There we go. And we're just going to press it back. Right. Hopefully, it's going to pop up. Hopefully, we'll be able to watch the game. Oh, there it is. In all its glory. Oh, it's fantastic. There we go. A watch-along will happen. We will be able to watch Manchester City take on Huddersfield Town. Well, it's the broadcast is on. I think it's only just gone live now. So, that's good. Let Love Lead. Triple L says, good job, Jay. Joining in from South Korea, legend. Thank you very much for your kind comment and thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Right, before we do crack on with this live watch along and the players will make their way out of the tunnel ready for this game, I'll just quickly go through the promos and some rules for the channel. So if you are new around here, please do subscribe. It's free to subscribe. That would be great. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. We are aiming for 100 likes here. We are now 68 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be fantastic. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the live chat, including getting your score and team predictions in for this game. Alec says, for anybody tuning in from the UK, he does believe this game live on channel 601 on Freeview. As I said, it is free to go and watch in the UK. Alternatively, if you're watching on any streaming platforms, that includes watching things on your Xbox, your PlayStation, Now TV, etc., etc., go on the BBC iPlayer app, and it is the first thing that's on there to watch this game between Manchester City and Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield then got the whole of South Stand Level 3. I'm not too sure if they've got South Stand Level 2 as well, but they are bringing 6,000 along for this game. Sold out away end. Kudos to them. Not doing too great in the Championship, but turning up in their numbers watching this game between Manchester City and Huddersfield as the Premier League champions take on the team sitting in 21st in the Championship, which you would expect would just be a very simple formality, and Manchester City turn up, play well, and win the game. But we've seen numerous amounts of times that just isn't how football works. It's not how Manchester City tend to do things either. They like to make things complicated for themselves. Hopefully today, that'll be a little bit different and we will be in for a pretty straightforward game. That would be brilliant. Manchester City fan says, Middlesbrough and Wigan Athletic, two bogey teams for Manchester City, whether that be the FA Cup or the Premier League. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. Wigan Athletic in particular just seem to be our nemesis. So if you offer me the opportunity, because they're sitting in League One, so they join in the first round, they've made it through the first round, they've made it through the second round, they're into the third round, got a huge match against Manchester United at home. I wouldn't rule out Wigan Athletic knocking out Manchester United tomorrow night, and I'd be dreading playing them in the fourth round, whether that be at the DW Stadium or at the Etihad Stadium. They just seem to have Manchester City's number. It just seems to be what Wigan Athletic do. I want Wigan Athletic to go out. I don't want to go anywhere near that. Wigan Athletic, Manchester City, FA Cup just doesn't mix. It doesn't go very well when it's Manchester City. So, do you know what? I want Manchester United to win that game, because if I'm to draw a team, I'd rather face Manchester United than Wigan Athletic, and I genuinely believe that. I really do. Manchester United doesn't cause me any concerns. I'm confident that we'd do them at the Etihad. I'm confident we'd do them at Old Trafford. Yet, there's something in the back of my mind that tells me Wigan Athletic, and I just think, woo, no. So, I'd rather avoid it. So I want Man United to go through. I'd rather play them than Wigan Athletic. That's where we are. Anyway, Oh Big Bear tuning in. Thank you very much. Says, come on Town. Presumably a Huddersfield Town fan. I'm going for a 2-0 City win today. I think City will grab a couple of goals in the first half. We'll take our foot off the gas in the second half. And we'll start preserving energy. You'll see some substitutions be made. Maybe take the sting out of the game. I wonder, are Huddersfield going to want to come forward? Are they going to want to attack Manchester City and have a pop? First 5 or 10 minutes, either half here, could be crucial for this game. And as long as Manchester City sit tight and Manchester City cover their space really well, and we're getting our creative players involved in this game, so your likes of your Phil Fodens, your Jack Grealishes, your Oscar Bobbs, and getting Julian Alvarez involved in the game as quickly as possible will serve us very well. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, will be a win for Manchester City and we'll go through to the fourth round. As I said at the beginning of the stream, this is a chance here for Manchester City to make more history and do something that we have never done before, and that is retain the FA Cup. There's lots of stuff that City have achieved. We've done the domestic treble. We've done what everyone calls the official treble. We've hit 100 points in a season, the highest points tally in the Premier League ever. We're bidding to do something that no one has ever done before, and that's win 4 Premier League trophies in a row. But there's something we've not achieved, and that is retain the FA Cup. We've retained the League Cup, but never the FA Cup. That journey for us starts today, and we have to play well, because if we don't, Huddersfield Town are going to be well up for this game. Well up for it. I don't want to say this is Huddersfield Town's cup final, but if Huddersfield Town are ever going to be motivated for a game this season, then this is the game. The home of Manchester City, home of the Premier League champions, home of the FA Cup champions. Huddersfield Town, if they don't turn up today, if I was a Huddersfield fan, I'd be sitting there and I'd be questioning the mentality of the players. I'd be saying, why aren't you up for a massive cup game against Manchester City? Why are you not giving it your all? And I think Huddersfield will turn up. I don't think this is going to be as simple and as straightforward as some people think. I hope I'm wrong. I hope, for City's point of view, I hope we go out there, blitz Huddersfield apart, grab some quick goals, and we can start gaining some confidence, start thinking about keeping a clean sheet, and start thinking about Newcastle United away from home next weekend. That's where we stand here on this game. Wildcat says, anyone old enough to remember Halifax Town and Shrewsbury Town? Are you on about when Man City faced Halifax Town and Shrewsbury Town? Or are you on about just in general, does anybody remember Halifax Town and Shrewsbury Town? But yeah, both teams up north. Shrewsbury sitting, is it Shropshire, I think? Not too far off Wales, up in, Northern England? Just north of the Midlands, and Halifax Town sitting in Yorkshire. And as a proper Lancashire lad myself, pains me to say that. Ugh, Yorkshire. Ooh, we're not going to be speaking about that. KDB with the thick locks on the bench for City today. Is today the day we see Kevin De Bruyne make his debut for Manchester City? Now, I'm starting to think that my stream's either behind or they're just really behind in this FA Cup game, because we're still having the build-up. The players haven't even made the way out the tunnel. The game was meant to kick off at 2 o'clock. So I'm not too sure what's happening there. Let me find out. I think I pressed watch from the start. Yeah, the game's already kicked off. I apologise. It's poor from JSGC. It's so poor. He's just not prepared. He needs to be sacked. JSGC needs to be sacked. Right. Cross comes in from Huddersfield, headed clear by Ruben Dias. Let me just get the clock matched up. It is 30 seconds in. There we go. Matched up. So we do have kickoff. Huddersfield going forward. A couple of crosses come in. A couple of headers won by Ruben Dias. And Manuel Akanji has to hack that one clear. And here is that quick start that I said. First 5 or 10 minutes of both halves here. Huddersfield Town will chuck the kitchen sink. Eventually, when Man City do gain control of the game, you will see Huddersfield Town sit a lot deeper. I don't know why I pressed set to watch from the start. It means I'm behind by a few minutes there, so I apologise for not having the build-up and the players coming out of the tunnel. Players shaking hands and ready for this game. Mike, thanks for tuning in. Says, going for a 4-1 victory for Manchester City. Says, can we get to 120 likes? That would be great. Of course, first aim is 100 likes, so any help towards that would be great. We're now 65 likes away. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Is the ball being launched long? As you get an advert of Japanese #1 beer, the Asahi Super Dry drink, which Manchester City normally wear on their training gear, and a lawsuit has been filed by the fashion brand Superdry, I think claiming copyright on the name of Superdry, because Asahi's been using the Superdry phrase for their drink, which clashes with obviously their company name, Superdry, and they're not happy that the Superdry name is being used on Manchester City's training clothes, when they themselves are a clothing brand. Yeah, Asahai's got nothing to do with the brand of Superdry. So they're claiming compensation from Superdry and Manchester City. I think it's been filed an actual lawsuit. So not only do Manchester City have to contend with 115 charges coming in from the Premier League going to an independent panel, but also now have to settle a lawsuit with the clothing brand Superdry. All to be decided in law. So there we go. Anyway, Manchester City now working the ball forward. Here's Mateo Kovacic to Manuel Akanji. Oscar Bobb on the right-hand side here. Gets a run of Rico Lewis. Doesn't use him. Back to Manuel Akanji. Just on the outside of the Huddersfield Town penalty area. And a sliding challenge comes in. And that will go out for a throw-in, I think, to Manchester City, which Oscar Bobb will take. He just throws it back to Manuel Akanji. He'll work the ball backwards here, and now Huddersfield Town have got every player camped inside their own half, and there's that formation shape there that you see, and going with 3 at the back, but it will go into a 5 at the back when they're sitting a little bit deeper. Oscar Bobb finds Rico Lewis. Has to turn, forced behind by the Huddersfield Town defender there. Good bit of defending from Huddersfield. Manchester City just have to begin another wave of an attack with Phil Foden finding Oscar Bobb on the right-hand side. And you've got a feeling here that City's movement's going to have to be pretty quick. Something smart, something clever, because at the moment City have got 3 attackers to their 5 defenders. And if that's going to be a tactic for the whole game, Manchester City are going to have to unlock the Huddersfield defence. And the sooner we do that, the better to bring them out to play, so to speak. Manchester City fan says going for a 2002 World Cup final scoreline in favour of Manchester City. I'm trying to think what the 2002 World Cup scoreline was. It was Brazil took on, was it Germany? I think. Let's have a look. It was Brazil-Germany, yeah, 2-0. That's what I'm going for as well. Making me work to figure out a score prediction, my friend. As we're nearly 5 minutes in here at the Etihad. Currently 0-0 still. Here's Manuel Akanji now to Rico Lewis. Worked out to Oscar Bobb on the right-hand side. Phil Foden looked to try and peel off the defender. Again, you're just seeing 2 or 3 Man City attackers up against 5 of their defenders. Space very limited. Here's Phil Foden. There's no real height to Manchester City's attack. So it will take something smart, a clever bit of movement. There's going to be a lot of sideways passing. This could be a game where you see Man City hit 1,000 passes. Really could. Here's Manuel Akanji to Phil Foden. Back to Akanji. Oscar Bobb. Finds Ruben Dias now. Worked out to Jack Grealish. Good touch that from Jack Grealish. Man City bearing the World Cup Champions logo on their shirts. And that will be Manchester City's first corner of the game. And a little bit of defending here for Huddersfield Town to do. So a corner here for Julian Alvarez to take. Taken short here by Manchester City. No comment. Here's Julian Alvarez. Back to Jack Grealish. If this amounts to nothing, I'm going to struggle to say no comment again about these short corners. Here's Jack Grealish. Back to Julian Alvarez. To the edge of the penalty area. Space opens up and a shot comes in. And it's a shot on target there from Julian Alvarez. And just test the hands there of the goalkeeper. No real issues there for Nichols in goal. Comfortable save. I think Huddersfield Town will be happy for Man City to be having shots from 30 yards out. And that's all they're limiting Manchester City to. I think they'll be pretty happy with that. Mixed in, hello, thanks for tuning in. Helping moderate the chat. Remember, the rules for the chat is no spoiling it for others. And that's pretty much it. Keep things friendly. There you go. And then we all have a good time. Here's Kovacic now to Oscar Bobb. Movement of Lewis and Foden not used, and he just goes for the safer pass back to Manuel Akanji. Work now to Josko Gvardiol. About 30 yards out from goal. His pass is intercepted. Not a very good pass from Josko Gvardiol. And here's the danger now. Huddersfield come forward on the counter-attack, and that's good covering there from Mateo Kovacic on Wild. He's not got the pace to deal with Kovacic. And Kovacic just mops that one up, and Huddersfield Town will look to just regain their shape and look to sit deep again. Yeah, it's going to be one of them games, guys. It's going to be one of them games. Man City are going to dominate the ball, 80+% possession, maybe even more. I reckon near 1,000 passes. Huddersfield, what do they do? Set pieces, counter-attack, one chance, one goal. Will they get that chance? It's very much been one-way traffic. Huddersfield Town had a pop for the first couple of minutes. Man City weathered that storm. And since Sensitive dominated the play, we've seen our first shot on target as well. It's a good ball played out to Jack Grealish. Goes to the byline, whipped across, dealt with very well there by Huddersfield, and they can get that one clear to the edge of their own penalty area. Will be mopped up by Josko Gvardiol. Mike says Grealish is playing good for Manchester City so far. He's finding space really well. A good outlet for City to use as well. Here's Jack Grealish. Plays a good pass into Julian Alvarez. Nearly an interception there for Huddersfield, but the ball just comes back to Manchester City, and Gvardiol will work that now to Manuel Akanji. Rico Lewis wanted the pass, doesn't get the pass. Oscar Bobb goes for a cross into the box, headed clear. I would advise for Manchester City, that should be a free kick to Huddersfield against Ruben Dias, and he's all over the attacker there. I would advise for Manchester City, if they're going to put balls into the box, nothing of height goes in. When I say that Huddersfield Town's defenders are taller than the Manchester City attackers, I think that's an understatement from me. They are absolutely towering above them. Crosses into the box will be dealt with by Huddersfield, unless it's a set piece and you can get your taller players forward, our defenders forward. If it's just in general, in-play attack, pointless putting them balls into the box with any height. Go low, go hard, try and deal with things at the feet. And I think that'll serve Manchester City really well. Long ball sent forward from Nichols. Header won by Huddersfield as well, so they can have some possession here inside Manchester City's half. They are working the ball backwards. They've got nowhere to go. A ball gets played into the channel, and the offside flag does go up against Huddersfield Town, and a good save there from Ortega-Moreno. You are meant to keep the offside flag down whilst VAR makes that decision. The offside flag went up very early. I presume Manchester City have had some things to say to the officials that led to the injury of John Stones, with the issue of the flag going up far too late and leading to an injury. Linesman did very well there. He was a good 40 yards out from goal. He's a good half a yard, maybe a yard offside, clear offside. So linesman looking across his line really well. Flag goes up and says, there you go. You're 40 yards out from goal. He doesn't think it's a goal scoring opportunity. 40 yards out. He does go on to go up to the goalkeeper and have a shot. It was saved by Ortega-Moreno, so it's all meaningless that I'm saying. But I think if Huddersfield had put that ball into the back of the net, they'd have preferred for VAR to have made the decision rather than the linesman. But as it is, the linesman made the correct call, doing his job properly. So kudos to the linesman. Lydia, thanks for tuning in, says, when's Erling Haaland coming back? He's only just started to come back to training. He's not as far advanced as De Bruyne and Doku in his recovery, so I imagine he's probably another week or two away. He is training with Manchester City, which is good, but Man City seemingly not wanting to rush him back. And if he's not available for selection next weekend against Newcastle, he'll won't be back until the FA Cup match. If we do make it through this game in the fourth round, and Man City may even choose to rest him for that if we do go up against any lower league teams. So we'll see. Some good opportunities for Jeremy Doku and Kevin De Bruyne today to both get some minutes, which would be great. Here's Manuel Akanji to Oscar Bobb. Here's Jack Grealish now to Gomez. Goes for the cross and put out for another corner to Manchester City. City's second corner of the game. A corner here for City to take. Julian Alvarez then just takes it short. Work to Jack Grealish on the edge of the penalty area. I can't imagine Man City are too keen on putting them crosses into the box, even from set pieces. This Huddersfield Town defence far bigger than any of City's defenders as well, so I don't think that's probably the way to go forward. As Huddersfield Town win the ball back from Oscar Bobb. Oscar Bobb should probably have been a little bit stronger there. Ball can come across, but they can't find the man and out for a throw into Manchester City, so that counter-attack comes to an end. But Huddersfield have shown first 13 minutes or so that the threat is there that Manchester City need to deal with. You know, them counter-attack, them through balls, the pace. It is there. City need to deal with it as a crunching challenge comes in and a free kick given there. I am not entirely convinced that that was a free kick on Akanji. It was certainly a free kick higher up that the referee played the advantage for. Referee chooses to pursue that foul from Matos and he goes into the book, the first yellow card of the game 13 minutes in. Goes through the back of Manuel Akanji. I want to see if he wins the ball here, because if he wins the ball, I don't think this should be a free kick. Certainly a foul on, I think it was Rico Lewis there. I think that might be, is that what Matos has gone into the book for? He comes in with a crunching challenge. Difficult to see from that angle if he does win the ball or not. Takes the man through with it. I'm not sure on that, to be honest. Anyway, Matos goes into the book. Man City have a free kick. In a pretty good position, actually. Put something into the box, maybe. Try and be smart. Pep Guardiola and Juan Marlilo in discussion on the bench. Neither of them look overly concerned here, which is a good sign. Although Nathan Ake is out warming up just in case Manuel Akanji can't resume. Never a good sign when the physio's feeling his knee. So we'll get another replay here. Let's have a look at this. Does he get the ball? He does get the ball. He clips it with his heel. I think he just lands awkwardly on his knee. I think that's what's caused the injury. Akanji's back on his feet, which is good to see. He's walking very gingerly. He's hurt himself there, Manuel Akanji. It'll be a big blow to lose him on for an injury, considering obviously providing good competitive cover for our defence and defensive midfield and the injury to John Stones. So hopefully it won't be too serious and he will be able to resume. Anyway, Manchester City send the defenders forward here. Ruben Dias, Josko Gvardiol forward. Ball's going to go into the box from Alvarez and it's well defended, very well defended that from Huddersfield and headed out for a corner. Brian says, come on, Grealish, looking for Jack Grealish to show some inspiration today for Manchester City, and Huddersfield survived the first phase of the game. The first 15 minutes unscathed. It remains Manchester City 0, Huddersfield Town 0. Corner here for City. Ruben Dias, Gvardiol stayed forward here. Manuel Akanji will be allowed back onto the pitch very soon, but not for the corner. And Alvarez is just going to chip a ball in, and that's far too close to the goalkeeper. Easy that for Nichols. He thinks about the counter-attack. Huddersfield growing in confidence. Sends a kick forward. It's a good kick forward, but it's a poor touch. Desperately unlucky. It was a really good kick from Nichols at the back. Poor touch means Man City can have the ball again. Huddersfield nearly got possession there on halfway as Manuel Akanji back onto the pitch and continuing to feel his knees. Clearly feeling a bit of discomfort there. Hopefully he will just be able to run it off and he'll be good to go. Ahmed, thanks for tuning in. Says, come on Manchester City. Thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. And always good to see another fellow Manchester City fan, as we're now 60 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. As Oscar Bobb then has a drive into the penalty area. Into the penalty area! Shot comes in and Rico Lewis gets in the way and goes out for a goal kick. Oscar Bobb not very happy there. I don't think he's very happy that Rico Lewis was in his way from his blocked effort there. He dragged and pulled his shot, I think looking for the near post. I don't think he'd have scored. And I think Akanji's gone back down again with his knee. He's not going to be able to continue here. Frederick, thanks for tuning in. Going for a 4-0 victory for Manchester City. I said it was Nathan Ake that was out warming up, but it's Matheus Nunes that's taking his bib off, that's going to get himself changed and ready to come on here. So Akanji is going to come off. And Matheus Nunes is going to come on. Matheus Nunes has only just come back from an illness. So Man City clearly didn't want to start him for this game. So Man City clearly looking for a little bit more finesse in midfield. Kanji's done his knee. It's the landing on his left knee. As a challenge comes in. It's a crunching challenge. I think he just stretches his knee. So easy to dislocate your knee being able to do something like that. Jess and Count, thanks for tuning in. Going for a 5-0 victory today for Manchester City. Loving the optimism and positivity. We're still awaiting the opening goal here at the Etihad. No real talking points. 1 yellow card to Huddersfield for a challenge on Akanji. That's seen Akanji go off injured with an injured left knee. Matheus Nunes has come on. Julian Alvarez has had a 30-yard shot well saved by the goalkeeper, although it was straight down his throat. Huddersfield were unhappy that an offside flag went up in an opportunity that they never capitalised upon. But other than that, first 18 minutes, not been a great first 18 minutes of football, if I'm honest. Huddersfield not willing to play football, and again, early offside flag goes up. Good to see from the linesman there. I like this linesman. Who is the linesman? Give them a pay rise. Kudos to you. Early flags. Correct decisions. Thumbs up. Watchalong. I butchered your name, my friend. I do apologise for that. It's a City for the win. Loving all the support for Manchester City today. Great to see. Great to see. We still do await the opening goal here at the Etihad, though. Here is Jackie G for Manchester City. He's got nowhere to go. Has to find Kovacic instead. And here's Matheus Nunes, who's going to slot into that hole alongside Mateo Kovacic. I presume that Rico Lewis is going to go more to the right-hand side here. So Nunes goes into the Rico Lewis role, and Rico Lewis goes into the Akanji role. Here is Nunes now to Rico Lewis. Ball predominantly just being played inside the Huddersfield half. This phase of an attack no different. Matheus Nunes wants the ball, doesn't get the ball. Instead, Ruben Dias just works it to Mateo Kovacic. Got two options on the left, Jack Grealish. Sergio Gomez hogging the touchline, which is allowing Jack Grealish to invert inside. I could argue it's probably Oscar Bobb that's looked more likely for Manchester City to drive in from the wing rather than Jack Grealish, although Jack Grealish has found space better than what Oscar Bobb has. Here is Ruben Dias now. Goes for a floated ball in towards Jack Grealish. Right idea, not quite the execution, and that goes out for a goal kick to Huddersfield Town, and then they survive first 20 minutes. Remains 0-0. Darren Moore, manager of Huddersfield, I think will be very happy with this so far. And a couple of the City fans just already, we're only 20 minutes in already, a few of the City fans just looking a little bit frustrated. It's exactly the game plan that Huddersfield Town are looking for. Manchester City being limited to very little. These low block approaches. We see it a lot from Premier League teams. If a team's can't go toe for toe with Man City's quality, then they don't really have any other choice other than just to sit there and absorb the pressure from Manchester City and try and hit City on the counter-attack. That is the approach. It's up to Manchester City to be smarter about it and deal with it. And I don't think I've seen enough from City first 21 minutes here. I already told you at the start of the game what Huddersfield Town's approach was going to be. It's crystal clear what the approach was going to be. What are Manchester City going to do about it is the question. And not much. And Matheus Nunes just bullied off the ball, and here comes Huddersfield coming forward now. Man City looking a little bit exposed. It's Matos going in, protects the ball really well, wants the free kick, doesn't get the free kick. Now that'll be a goal kick to Manchester City. He protects himself in front of the ball. There's just nothing in it for Matheus Nunes. He doesn't grab or pull and goes down. There's not enough for him to go down to claim a push. Good refereeing. Do you know what? Officials have done a good job. First 21 and a half minutes here. Done a very good job. Linesman with a nice early flag. Referees made the correct decisions. Here's Sergio Gomez to Josko Gvardiol. Gives the ball to Ruben Dias now. Work to the right-hand side. Here's Rico Lewis. Gets the support of Oscar Bobb. Back to Lewis again. No real movement from Manchester City. Phil Foden came over to support, which has allowed Man City an outlet to work the ball sideways to the left-hand side, to the opposite flank. Here is Jack Grealish now. He's got the support of Sergio Gomez. I want to see Sergio Gomez make a nice powering run that could potentially be used as an overlap. It never came. I think Man City just a little bit too pedestrian for my liking, and Huddersfield clear the ball into space and do well. Here is Thomas up against Ruben Dias. His pass work to the right-hand side, and Huddersfield have a chance here to commit players forward. And every credit to Huddersfield, taking an opportunity when they can get forward to get players forward. Long ball comes forward into the penalty area. There's nobody there, and Man City will claim the ball back. And through 3 touches, Manchester City back into the Huddersfield half. And once again, Huddersfield 11 men behind the ball. Here's Oscar Bobb then for Manchester City. ATZ, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Do hope you are well, as we're now 57 likes away from 100 likes. Here's Matheus Nunes to Ruben Dias. There's space for Sergio Gomez on the left if Man City want to utilise him. I don't think City are working the ball quick enough for my liking. It's a bit too pedestrian for me. It's too heavy a pass that from Rico Lewis to Oscar Bobb, and that'll go out for a goal kick. And once more, Huddersfield doing a good job of restricting anything for Manchester City. City have done near enough nothing in this first half at the moment. And a little bit for Manchester City to think about. Just got to be a little bit quicker, a little bit smarter. And they aren't. ATZ says, which position do you think we need to sign a new player for next season? I think there's a few areas of interest. I think probably the biggest would be with Kalvin Phillips more than likely leaving. It'd be nice to have a little bit more cover in that defensive central midfield role. Imagine Man City's plan may be to try and get Kevin De Bruyne to play into a deeper role. But you're asking for a lot of defensive responsibilities there. I don't feel like we've adequately replaced Ilkay Gundogan. We picked up other good options, but you've not really got that player that, should Rodri pick up an injury, can take up the slack in midfield. And there's often been games where we've not had Rodri available to us, and you can notice through how Man City play, they just don't look as good. So that position, John Stones' injury would be pivotal. They want Declan Rice in the summer. They were willing to pay more than £90 million, then never really looked at the position again. And that's a position I think I'd like to see City have another good look at, in particular in that summer window, if they're going to spend big in the summer, which you suspect that Man City may want to go and do, in particular with Bernardo Silva's release clause becoming active in the summer. We could be in for a big summer where we lose a couple of top targets. Kalvin Phillips could leave this winter. We could see Sergio Gomez in the next 6 months leave. Could well lose Bernardo Silva. So these are squad players that are going to need replacing. You've got a first team player in Bernardo Silva that's going to need replacing. We're arguably 1 or 2 short in our first team squad as well. So we're probably already a good 2 players short. We let a couple more players leave. We're probably needing 4 or 5. So there we go. Seamus says Blackpool 1-0 up. Thanks for keeping me informed there, Seamus. Much appreciated. And thanks for tuning in. Lydia says, what do I think of the team of the 2023-2024 season? Thinks Manchester City need to invest in better flank attackers, better wingers, is what Lydia's getting at there. I think it'll be, again, something that City will try and identify and look at in the summer rather than right now. I think you're right. As Jack Grealish goes with a low ball into the box. Phil Foden not happy with the ball into the box. Nothing of quality there from Jackie G. And Huddersfield can get the ball back easily without their goal being challenged. Thomas goes down, wants a 3 kick, doesn't get it. And referee waves play on. Man City can come forward again. Huddersfield back to 11 men behind the ball again. I think if we're going for wingers, as Rico Lewis goes with an early ball into the box and not fully dealt with by Huddersfield. Eventually Spencer will get it clear. Only as far as Sergio Gomez though. I think when it comes to wingers, I'd quite like to see Manchester City have an extra option on the right hand side. We've seen Jeremy Doku come in and he's only provided competition for Jack Grealish on the left hand side. And we've been insistent on going with Bernardo and Foden, and it turns out Foden's pretty good in the middle, which we all knew. So that might be something long-term City think about, which means we're needing somebody who can go on that right-hand side. I'd like to see Jeremy Doku go on that right-hand side. 15 minutes today, great chance. Tired Huddersfield legs at the back. 15 minutes of Doku on the right-hand side. See what he can do. rotates with Jack Grealish a lot. See if he can go on that right-hand side. No reason why you can't play Grealish and Doku. As a low ball comes in from Manchester City, and it's the first time that we've seen a good ball come into the box from City. It's good defending from Huddersfield, put out for a corner, but better movement, quicker play from Manchester City. Good stuff. It's taken nearly half an hour for City to wake up. And you do feel like, because this is why you're seeing a lot of positivity, Greg going in with a 3-0 victory for City. Boys are going in for a 4-0 victory, I presume, for Manchester City. The positivity is coming in because you fancy that if City do find that opening goal, floodgates will open. A little bit like the Chelsea-Preston game yesterday. Had to be patient as a corner comes in. Looks like the goalkeeper was fouled, and referee does give a free kick on the keeper. Any touching of the keeper, get far too much protection, is going to be given as a foul. Saw that in the City-Liverpool game, and how much protection Alisson was getting. ATZ says, a supporter of another CFG-owned club called Mumbai City in India. Says, so far we are used like the place where assistant head coaches become head coaches. Man City always looking to invest in the CFG, and you see the growth of the City Football Group. Manchester City have clubs in Oceania, in Asia, with Mumbai City. Of course, clubs in South America as well, in Europe. And you imagine that Mumbai City will get some investment coming in from the City Football Group as well. Be an interesting little project, actually, to keep an eye on. Stu, thanks for tuning in. Says, first time watcher, just seen you before on these fan reaction videos. Stu, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I've started to see that I've started to appear on these fan reaction things more and more. So happy that you have tuned in. Much appreciated. I do hope that you are well. Seamus says, Jack and Phil, midfielders, not wingers. Whereas Doku, Bernardo, they're great wingers. Not really seen Jack Grealish tried and tested in midfield for City so far. As another low ball comes in from Sergio Gomez. And once again, Nichols in goal. He's more than a match. Gathers that one up. And still we await City. I think we've had one shot so far on target in the first half an hour. We've seen City completely dominate and boss this game. But struggling for any real quality in front of goal. Stu, thank you very much for your kind comment. Yeah, I've had a very nice Christmas and New Year. Wishing you a very happy New Year. And hope you had a nice Christmas as well, my friend. Much appreciated. So Sicker says, blessed love from Jamaica. Says, Bunny came to see me and our old coach for Christmas as well. Love that one, So Sicker. Thanks for tuning in once more. And some love coming in from Jamaica as well. City having 80% possession so far of the football. Sideways passing, though, at the Mo. Here's Grealish. Kovacic looks to try and dink one over. That's the right idea. Quicker movement. Clever little flicks. Do something. Just moving the ball from left to right. Repeat. Having 80% possession and having no shot serves no purpose. Here's Matheus Nunes. Dinks one in towards the back post. These balls in the air just aren't working. This Huddersfield Town defence, they are towering above City's attackers. There's no point in putting balls into the air. How tall's that massive centre-back? He must be about 6'5". He's man-marking Julian Alvarez, who's 5'5". There's a foot difference. There's no point in dinking a ball in the air. He's not going to win that. Here's Foden. Shot comes in. Takes a deflection. Saved well by the goalkeeper. Better. So Sicker reckons second half it'll open up and City will win this game by 3-1. I think Huddersfield Town will be very happy with 1. I had a couple of Huddersfield fans that were interacting with me before the game saying they'd be happy with them putting up a fight. And if they could score a goal, they'd be very happy with that. Currently, 5 attempts on goal for City for that 80% possession in the first 31 minutes. Huddersfield with no attempts so far. Only time they come forward, it was offside. Flag went up nice and early, so it didn't count. City had 3 shots on target. Keeper's made 3 saves. I don't think he's had to dive to make a save. It's been straight at him. Stu says, thinks allowing Mahrez to leave was the worst decision. The team from last year was unstoppable. Feels like they've lost key players that we should have kept hold of. I agree with you, my friend. Mahrez, a big loss for Manchester City. I think Cole Palmer's just finding his feet nicely is a big loss as well. As City into the penalty area. Here's Rico Lewis, works it, and a shot comes in. It's a good header to find the block from Huddersfield Town. Literally 10 men behind the ball. Ball dinked into the back post, and once more, doesn't amount to anything. City just working the ball backwards here. Can they get something else into the box? Space opening up. Kovacic. Lovely disguised pass. Alvarez flicks one across. Foden! Yes! Into the back of the net. Walter Foden somehow puts the ball into the net from the tightest of angles. It looked like Huddersfield had enough players around the ball to surround him out and find the block. And he still finds the back of the net. Phil Foden continuing his good form. It's a great finish. Manchester City find that all-important opening goal. And it's the in-form man, Phil Foden, with the goal. Goes across the keeper. I think the keeper's going to be very disappointed with that. Very disappointed. It looked like all the angles were covered. I think all the angles were covered. I think this is not great goalkeeping. I don't think the keeper wants to see that again. It just goes across him. I think he might even get a shoulder onto this. He goes across the goal, across the goalkeeper. And Phil Foden finds the back of the net for Manchester City. It's what we like to see. Good stuff. Good stuff. Everyone happy with that as well. Phil Foden finding the goal. Real Mario, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Phil Foden finding the goal for Manchester City. Now, I was saying at the beginning of the stream that I don't think that this will open Huddersfield Town up. Their game plan, obviously they want to have a go at Manchester City, but their game plan will be they want this to be nice and tight. They want to keep the score down. They come out to play and they give Man City space. This will end up 4, 5, 6 or even more. There's a strong Manchester City team out there. Huddersfield have to be careful. And because of that, they're doing exactly what I'm saying. 11 men behind the ball again. They've held firm for 34 minutes. They'll look to try and hold firm for another 34. And if they can keep this down to a respectable score, a 2, a 3-0, they don't get demoralised from that. Yeah, they go out the FA Cup. Fans have had a good day out. Players have tried their hardest. And they can look to try and take some motivation into the rest of the Championship campaign. 3 points clear of the relegation zone. Only one position above the relegation zone at the moment, Huddersfield Town. That will be priority number 1 for them as well, as you'd expect. Free hit for them. There's nothing to be achieved off them losing 4, 5, 6-0 here. Nothing at all. Here's Rico Lewis then. Works the ball back to Ruben Dias. Stu says, think losing Kevin De Bruyne was a loss, but pleased that he's on the bench. His injury was upsetting, but it proves that Kevin De Bruyne is strong-minded, determined, resilient, and he'll be back, I'm sure, better than ever. I think you might see a slowdown of his pace, and I think Manchester City may just try and utilise him in a different role, in a deeper role. May save Man City some cash in the long run as well when it comes to potential players playing in that deeper midfield role. Thomas in a foot race here with Kovacic and Josko Gvardiol, the two Croatians, combining there to make sure that that counter-attack's snuffed out there. Stu making some good points there with Mahrez, was a big blow. And for some reason, it seems to take Man City at least 12 months to replace players. David Silva, 12 months. Aguero, 12 months. Vincent Kompany, 12 months. Gundogan's going to be 12 months. Mahrez is going to be 12 months. I don't get why it takes City so long. I get the patient approach, not wanting to rush into things, but you know when players are going to be leaving. Often, City let contracts run down, so they know that these players are going to be leaving and don't do much about replacing them. And you leave a little bit of a hole in your squad. That Man City team was very complete last season. Motivation was always going to be a big factor, so you need fresh energy to sort it out, and there wasn't much of it. And that's well worked from City, and somehow it's poked into the back of the net from Julian Alvarez. London buses, my friends. Got to wait a while for 1 and 2 come along at once. A bit of a mess at the back from Huddersfield. Manchester City, right place at the right time. Find their second goal, and City lead by 2-0. And looks like they're on the way into the 4th round of the FA Cup. Lovely jubbly, as Del Boy would say. Worked in really well into space. A good combination of passes. Matheus Nunes, Phil Foden, back to Matheus. He's onside. Rico Lewis has a shot. He mishits it. Julian Alvarez just sticks his foot onto it. I think it goes through the legs of one of the Huddersfield Town defenders, actually. and into the back of the net, and it's almost like slow motion. Yeah, through the legs of the Huddersfield Town defender and into the back of the net. Lovely stuff. 2-0 Manchester City. And on our way. And it's my 2 goal scorers. I said Man City were going to win this game 2-0. 2 first half goals for Phil Foden and Julian Alvarez. It's gone in that order. If this ends 2-0, you may as well just call me Mystic JSGC. Although I do feel like the goals haven't stopped here. Man City look hungry. The heads are just starting to drop from Huddersfield. And a free kick's been given against Man City there. Sergio Gomez has been absolutely clobbered in the face. Oh, there's blood everywhere. Oh, has he broken his nose? Oh, that is a nasty, nasty little clash. Oh, there's a follow through on the elbow. And takes a big hit there, Sergio Gomez. I don't really get how a free kick's given against City yet. Sergio Gomez is the one that's on the receiving end there. Sergio Gomez is first to the ball, kicks the ball against the defender. The ball then ricochets, and then the defender follows through with a heavy challenge. There we go. Stu says, yes, Julian Alvarez, sorry. Says, I think he'll be the next Sergio Aguero. Likes him. Gets into tight positions, finds the back of the goal. He's just in them right positions at the right time. He'll nick it and find them goals that we're always looking for. He's a tidy little player. I think he looked a little bit frustrated last season with Erling Haaland hogging the limelight with the amount of goals and quality that Erling Haaland has got, that we've not really found a way to get Julian Alvarez too involved. They thought about knocking him into midfield. It worked for a while, then just stopped working. And since then, Haaland, who's on our screen having a conversation with Kevin De Bruyne, had a bit of an injury, and it's allowed an opportunity for Alvarez to go a little bit further forward and play as Man City's striker and find them goals. And it's a role and a job that he's done really well. And I'd be confident that if Haaland's injury was a little bit more serious and he was to be out for the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm confident that Julian Alvarez would take up the slack and still continue to grab them goals for Manchester City, because at the end of the day, he's a good player. I've always maintained I'd like to see Man City find a way to change the formation to get 2 attackers involved, a strike force of Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland. It's not really something that we've seen too much of, but it worked wonders for Argentina. A front 2 of Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez, a front 2 for City of Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez is wonderful. Now, I just don't get how that's a free kick to Huddersfield. I just don't get it at all. Sergio Gomez is first to the ball and is absolutely clobbered by Spencer before a following knee comes in and kicks him in the nose. I think potentially a broken nose, I'm not too sure. Takes a big hit, he has to change his shirt. He looks okay, looks like he's going to continue. As Seamus says, Blackpool now 2-0 up. And we do hit 50 likes as well, which is great. Just 48 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well. So free kick comes in from Huddersfield and not dealt with by Manchester City, and Huddersfield just couldn't get control of the ball there. So good ball into the box. I'm still not very happy how Huddersfield got a free kick for that. Baffles me. There was me bigging the praises up of the officials. I think they've had a good game. Poor decision that from the referee, though. And I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to be as fair as I can and report on things as fairly as I can. I just don't comprehend how that's a free kick to Huddersfield. Doesn't win the ball. He's late. Takes the man. Hurts the man. And it's a free kick against City. Stu, VARs only want to get involved in goal decisions, don't they? And important decisions, your penalties, your red cards, ones that can change the game. But you're right. What happens if Huddersfield Town? Because if that player takes the touch, and takes a touch well, and puts the ball into the back of the net, VAR will do nothing about coming back to the original decision, because it's the next phase of the game. They won't come back to the original decision of, should that have been a free kick in the first place? the officials aren't competent enough for them to flow the game as much as gives a free kick one way whilst the player's down injured. He has enough time to look at it and say, actually, I've made the wrong decision. I'm going to overturn it and give a free kick to Manchester City. The officials just aren't quick enough or competent enough. I think we'd be here all day if they started looking at every decision that's made. Plus, you'd see just how bad the decision-making is. You've seen it with VAR, with the crucial decisions. So take away the word crucial and you have scrutinise every decision that's made by the officials, you'll realise just how bad it can be. Revox, you are right, VAR is active, but it will only be active for goals, red cards, things like that, things that have a serious impact, a critical impact on the game. I think with VAR, what you're saying there, Stu, I think the VAR issue that you have is you're only really going to pay attention when it involves your team. You will find, if you have a look at everyone's VAR decisions, and I know everyone always says it favours the big teams, but it's not necessarily the case, because there's been times where City have been shafted by VAR by teams who aren't classed as the typical big team. There's times when Man City have had decisions go for them against other big teams, and there's been times when it's been against us. My problem lies with the officials and the inconsistencies that you have and the decisions that are made. And for Man City, you notice it more in them big games because these big games are just so damn important. In particular so far this season, your Chelsea match away from home, your Liverpool match at home, your Spurs match at home. These are big, very important games with big decisions that have gone against Manchester City. Equally, I think we've been a victim of our own downfall. Expectation, obviously very high, motivation's been an issue, but we also strive for perfection. At the end of the day, them games that I just mentioned, your Chelsea away, your Liverpool at home, your Spurs at home, there should have been 9 points for Manchester City because we did enough to win them games. We didn't defend as well as we should have. We didn't put the ball away as well as what we should have. And because of it, we got punished because these teams have got quality players. And that's just how it is. Jonathan, thanks for tuning in. Says, he reckons 5-1 Manchester City. Blue Wings, thanks for tuning in. Says, anyone else really waiting for Kevin? Today could be the day. You could get a few minutes for Manchester City. It will come in the second half rather than the first half. But I don't think you may have to wait too much longer. I've got a feeling today is the day that we see De Bruyne return. Rivox says, where's De Bruyne going to play? We've got Phil Foden in the centre. I think his pace will have gone with his injury, so I think he'll go in a deeper role. In particular with that injury to John Stones, I think you may see him slot more alongside Rodri, or more freedom given to Rodri, and De Bruyne sits in a deeper role for City. It may mean a player like a Kovacic maybe there for extra protection. Or if you want to go more offensively, you could go with someone like Matheus Nunes, which is where City have got them options. So them two signings could prove to be pretty shrewd by City if utilised properly, and that's what City want to do. Stu says, do I remember when Howard Webb had apologised to clubs for the VAR decisions that were incorrect, that you don't hear about Howard Webb ever? He's never going to apologise. He's Mr. Manchester United himself. There was no one out there who was more corrupt than Howard Webb, and it came to matches involving Manchester United. No, literally nobody. He became a meme. He became known for it. He's not interested in Manchester City. He's not interested in giving us apologies for incorrect decisions. I don't think Man City do enough about it to complain, but do I want Man City to go out there and start making statements saying we've been robbed like Liverpool and Arsenal have? Because it just looks like they're blaming rather than taking responsibility. Whereas Man City have taken responsibility and taken account for themselves, which I think's the better approach. We're also never going to get an apology off Howard Webb, I'll tell you that right now. Rivox says, you won't risk Kevin today. Huddersfield, too physical. Already seen Sergio Gomez take a whack. And we've seen Manuel Akanji go off injured. You may be right. But at some point, De Bruyne is going to have to get up to the physicality of the Premier League, because Premier League teams can be just as physical as what Huddersfield have been. As we are into the second minute of 7 minutes added on here, we had a couple of stoppages, Akanji's injury and Sergio Gomez's nose injury. I am pleased to say that Sergio Gomez has got up and is playing as loosely as ever. So there's no problems there with Sergio Gomez. Stu says shares the same birthday as our Pep, 18th of January. Though different years, love that. I am 6 months and 1 day out from sharing the same birthday as the illustrious Pep and Stu. Fox says, no coincidence United haven't won a Prem since Webb retired, because they've not got them decisions coming their way. Just how much of an influence did Howard Webb have on these Manchester United games? It was rife, it was awful. The amount of bullying that were going on from Manchester United and Alex Ferguson when it came to officials as well was hideous. Blue Wings says it's 3:48 a.m. in the morning. His eyes burn. Get yourself to sleep, my friend. Imagine you're probably just waiting for Manchester City to try and get that killer third goal, and that's the game done and dusted, and you can start thinking about the fourth round of the FA Cup. A draw happening tomorrow, of course. Here is Rico Lewis then coming forward for Manchester City. Kenyon, hello, thanks for tuning in. As we're now up to 54 likes, just 46 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new around here. Man City have had to be patient in this game to find their couple of goals coming in quick succession through Phil Foden and Julian Alvarez, a couple of well-taken goals. Huddersfield continuing to sit tight, looking for that counter-attack, trying to keep the score down, trying to limit the space for City, and that'll be the approach in the second half, you reckon, as well. It'll be interesting to see if them legs start to tire, if Man City have it, about them, whether they want to go out there and make a statement win or whether they want to coast. I have a feeling City are going to try and coast this. Preserve energy ahead of Newcastle away next week. It doesn't help that City have been hit with an illness bug over the last couple of weeks. So seeing 3-4 players at a time ruled out, including like Bernardo Silva, including in this game. Just about got Matheus Nunes back. Scott Carson, another player hit by the illness. And you've got John Stones out injured. Erling Haaland not currently available for selection. And Manuel Akanji's gone off injured and may not be available for that game next weekend against Newcastle as well. So already City's squad looking stretched and thin. And there's talk that Kalvin Phillips, another player that's been hit by illness, so isn't in the squad today. There's Man City may not have him available if he does end up leaving the club on loan, which is what Manchester City are trying to push for at the moment. I also wonder with the fourth round match happening at the end of January, is there going to be another opportunity to see Kalvin Phillips in a Man City shirt? Because we've only got one game between now and the fourth round match due to the little winter break that we've got in the middle of January. I don't think Kalvin Phillips will get any minutes away at Newcastle, which means we're not going to see Kalvin Phillips again in a Manchester City shirt. I was expecting him to feature here, but he's ill. If he's still here in time for the fourth round at the end of January, he may get some minutes there. But we'll see as Rico Lewis drills a ball low. Intercepted really well into the penalty area, and Alvarez does have a shot and a good block there from Huddersfield, and they will get it clear as we're into the 51st minute here. Still got 2 minutes remaining before we get in at half-time. Zach, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I'm very well, thank you, my friend. How are you? As Wojciech, please tell me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, my friend. He says, I think that we should go and get a younger goalkeeper, as Rico Lewis takes a poor touching out for a goal kick there to Huddersfield Town. He says, I think that we should go and get a young goalkeeper that can play in the easy game so that we have someone to step in for Ederson, as Ederson is getting older. But that's the role that's been taken over by Stefan Ortega-Moreno. There's going to be games, obviously, where he needs to get his sharpness up, and it's always going to be Man City's cup goalkeeper who'll play every single FA Cup game that Man City are in the competition with, and the League Cup as well. It just turned out that the League Cup, we never made it past the third round and went out at the first time of asking. That he's probably had his minutes limited, but when Ederson's out on international duty with Brazil, we do tend to see Ortega-Moreno starting for Manchester City in the game back after the international break. He will start any games that don't really have too much meaning in the Champions League, and he will start every League Cup and FA Cup game, including, if we get to the latter stages, including semi-finals and the final, which is what we saw last season as well. As a low ball comes in, and it goes towards Matheus Nunes, and in the end, Huddersfield can scramble that one clear as we're going into the last 30 seconds. Can Man City muster up one final opportunity? Rico Lewis struggling to keep that one in, and doesn't manage to keep it in. It goes out of play for a throw, and it looked like he just kept that one in for me, just about, but Linesman disagrees and says he think it was a throw-in. So Huddersfield will have possession of the football as we go into added time on added time here. And Huddersfield just get that one clear. And that will be half-time here between Manchester City and Huddersfield Town. Manchester City leading by 2-0. Been a lot of huffing and puffing going on. And in the end, Manchester City managed to blow the house down twice, with Phil Foden and Julian Alvarez grabbing a couple of goals for Manchester City. 2 goals in 4 minutes in the 33rd and the 37th minute means Man City lead by 2-0, and you fancy if City can find one more goal here in the second half, then that will be that for Manchester City. At the moment, looking very comfortable. Not been a classic, not been a great game of football, but it's enough. And Man City doing their job, what they need to do. And Huddersfield very much stopped in their track. Remember, 6,000 Huddersfield fans down here for this game. It's a massive game for them. Are looking to try and build some confidence. But at the moment, not really going to plan. And Manchester City lead by 2-0. Right. So you said, pronounce my name, Wojciech. Okay, thank you very much for that, Wojciech. Much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. Zach asks, do I think Kevin De Bruyne will leave for the Saudi League? I think if Kevin De Bruyne is to leave Manchester City, I don't think he'd leave for another European team, unless it was to go back to his native Belgium. If he wants to earn big money, he's got a great opportunity to earn some big money. If he did want to earn that big money, then the Saudi League would be an option. Question is, does De Bruyne want to go to the Saudi League? And if he doesn't want to go to the Saudi League, I can see him staying at Manchester City. And with how good Kevin De Bruyne is, Kevin De Bruyne, like all the other City legends that we've had, the modern legends, they deserve to tell us when they want to leave, in my complete honest opinion. So hopefully we'll have many more years of Kevin De Bruyne. I don't want him to leave. I think he's a fantastic player. If he is to leave, how much would City ask for? That's the question. There we go. Blue Wingser says, who would I want to pick in a big game for the left wing position? Would I rather go with Grealish or Doku? It depends on the opposition and what they're offering. Jack Grealish, I think his form's improved a lot over the last couple of months for Manchester City, so I have no problem with going with either. If we're going to go toe-for-toe with a team, I would prefer for Manchester City to probably go with Jack Grealish, just to have that more defensive approach, in particular if we're being a bit wary about being hit on the counter-attack or teams mustering up opportunities. You know, your likes of your Chelseas, your Tottenham Hotspurs, your Liverpools, the teams that are capable of attacking and going toe-for-toe with Manchester City. But if you're going on against a team that's going to sit back and not give Man City as much space, I'd prefer to go with someone like Jeremy Doku. Good to have them options, though. Really is good to have them options. Seamus, I did see that before, actually. Jordan Henderson looking to come back to the Premier League after making some comments in support of Saudi Arabia and what's been going on there. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone does want to go for Jordan Henderson and what reception he'd get back in the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see. Seamus says Forest have a goal back. It's now 2-1 against Blackpool. I'll go through the scores, actually, in just 1 second. MCFC TV says, yes, mate, how are you doing? Big up. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated, my friend. I do hope that you are well. And yeah, thanks to everyone else that has tuned in. Do leave a thumbs up then. We are 41 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well. So, we're going to go through the stats first for this game. Manchester City leading by 2-0. So, at the moment, Manchester City very much firm favourites. 250-1 on to win this game. 50-1 for a draw. And 250-1 for Huddersfield to come back and complete what would be a remarkable comeback in the second half. In terms of statistics for this game, Manchester City dominating the game. 83% possession, 11 shots, 5 on target. Fantastic from Manchester City there. Dominating possession, working the ball well. Just like to see him be a little bit quicker to try and create them opportunities. It's been a difficult game, having 11 shots and 5 on target. Not the greatest of returns, but to come away with a couple of goals. I feel like if this was a Premier League game, it would be 0-0 at half-time, and we'll be saying, actually, City aren't being clinical enough and need to do more. I think that approach has to be applied in the second half from City, but I'm just happy that we've managed to find them a couple of goals that will hopefully take the game by the scruff of the neck and take the game away from Huddersfield and allow Manchester City to try and become... or try and get into the fourth round of the FA Cup. I said keep an eye on the 1,000 passes for Man City today. Half-time, 486 passes. City on course here for over 970 passes in the game. So keep an eye on that. Can we get to 1,000? Huddersfield, 97 passes, not even at 100 yet. 17% possession, no shots at all. interesting, very interesting. A couple of clear-cut chances created for City, 4 corners as well. It's very much a game being dominated by City, and Nichols in goal made 3 saves. Ortega-Moreno, he's done nothing. He's not had to do anything. It's been a very quiet game for Stefan Ortega-Moreno, literally just being paid to stand still at the moment. I reckon it's actually quite cold, because it is quite cold in the UK right now. There we go. Stu says, thinks last time we played Huddersfield, I think we beat them 7-0. If you're going on about the one in the Premier League, I think it was 6-0 or 6-1 it finished. It was Huddersfield's heaviest defeat in the Premier League that we handed to them as well. MCFC TV says, big fan here. Started my City channel, I presume it means Man City channel, because of me, so much appreciated. Thank you so much for your loyalty and your support. So he's at 300 subs so far. Go and check him out. Go and like and subscribe. That would be great, as we're now just 36 likes away from 100 likes here. So going through the other half-time scores, you've got Luton Town taking on Bolton Wanderers, currently 0-0 at Kenilworth Road. Manchester City 2-0 up against Huddersfield at half-time. Blackpool causing a big surprise, 2-1 up at the City ground against Nottingham Forest. Peterborough 0, Leeds 1 at half-time. Shrewsbury 0, Wrexham 0 half-time. West Brom 3, Aldershot 0 at half-time, and West Brom heading through in that match at the Hawthorns. And finally, West Ham 1, Bristol City 0. You do have Arsenal taking on Liverpool at 4:30pm GMT today, with a massive game that in the FA Cup. So, yeah, there we go. Thank you everybody for tuning in so far. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, 35 likes away from 100 likes. And don't forget as well to subscribe. That would be much appreciated. So I do have some half-time entertainment whilst I just go and very quickly have a quick break, and then we'll be back ready for the second half. So this is Mixed, bringing you your half-time entertainment for today, which involves yours truly, me as well, as we went and did our little Christmas night out. We do this every year. We've done one in Blackpool, we've done one in Leeds, and now last year, but back in December, we went to Norwich and checked that out. So, yeah, sit back, relax, and I'll see you all again ready for the second half.
What's going on, guys? Mixed here, as we're back again for another year to do our Christmas do. And this time we are doing it in Norwich. So with Norwich, the appeal was it's my team, Preston North End versus Norwich. So what we're going to do is make a night out of it, as I will show you the nightlife. Let's go. We've done Blackpool, we've done Leeds, now Norwich. What will we do next year?
12 seconds later.
First drink of the night in Revolution. Go on then, get the shots down first. Cheers.
Cheers, and that begins.
Get it down. There we go.
Hey, there you go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Enjoy the night.
I think. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. What do you reckon to it? The £11 porn star martini?
11 quid. Don't get this up north. Like, we've gone to Revolution. I've never ever had a cocktail that couldn't say 11 quid in Revolution. But here we are. I was going to say, it's like your standard one in Revolution. It's a solid 7 out of 10. It's good.
Where are we off to next? Is it that rum bar?
So, the Revolution de Cuba.
Nice.
That I'm looking forward to. Zombie.
£10.50. How is it?
Very nice. Never disappoint.
What's the flavour you're getting from it?
Quite bitter, this one.
Okay.
But very, very strong. That's the thing that you can taste.
Not your favourite?
Not my favourite strong cocktail that I've ever had.
Yeah. Heading to All Bar 1 next. All Bar 1. I've never been in All Bar 1 before. Got a festive menu, Snowball Martini. These look excellent. These look like potentially the best drinks of the night.
Let's be honest.
Mixed in, our drinking expert's going to give us our
It
rating.
looks like everything about the presentation looks 10 out of 10.
Go on then. How's it taste?
I'm excited for this one.
I suspect it's very coconut-like. Coconut taste.
Yeah, I've not actually looked at the thing, so I'm not too sure what's in it.
Well, let's see what taste you get.
I'm blind.
I've looked.
It's definitely coconut rum. But it's very nice. Testing coconut rum, so it's a very sweet cocktail in it. Trying to figure what else is in there. I'm wrong. Coconut syrup. That's what I'm tasting. So it's the vodka, got vanilla vodka, pineapple juice, lime juice.
There you go. I love this garnish. I'm really excited. Fat Jason's excited to eat this coconut marshmallowy thing. It looks very nice. These glasses are very nice. Cheers, Aaron. Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I do love these glasses as well.
You like them?
Oh yeah, the coconut's the overpowering taste.
It is.
And then you get a kick of the vodka.
Yeah.
You won't think it's vanilla vodka though. I don't really get any
vodka
vanilla.
in it, yeah.
Coconut, all coconut. I'd like a mix-in recreation. That's excellent. All bar one, delivering potentially my favourite drink of the night. Excellent. Kudos. Fat Jason had to try it. It's coconut and ice cream. I was hoping it'd be like marshmallow, but delicious.
Oh, look, we've got in for more.
Christmas. So, martini, one of my faves. Aaron, glass on a pina colada. All bar one. One of my favourite places. It's in Norwich at the moment, I think.
It is a really nice cocktail.
Give me a taste test. My second drink in all bar one. I like all bar one.
I think it's very much us.
What are you scoring out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Decent.
It's very nicely made pina colada. I like the glass and everything about it. But it's well made and I like it very much.
That coffee smell that we're looking for. Espresso martini. It's always the Kahlua. It's always the Kahlua that's the dominating taste. Fantastic. Brilliant cocktail. 9 out of 10, that. 9 out of 10. We'll try it for a second time. So we finally made it to the Complete Angler. A little backstory to this. We wanted to go here on the JSGC football channel. We weren't able to as we were away fans going into a home fan pub. We've had to come and do a night out on the same day for us to finally get in to check it out. It is very much, like we said on the video, generic beers. We're on rum and coke. It's a dark spice rum, cracking, is what we're on. How did it taste?
So I'll give you my opinion.
Aaron got ID to come in, so he's very happy.
I'm very happy.
He doesn't look 25 or younger, but
I am 25, I do.
He's 18.
But anyway, rum and coke does the same thing for any night out. So just about the same thing in 10 out like rum and coke.
Solid.
It's a solid 7 out of 10.
Solid. We just wanted to complete our day in Norwich. We'd like to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Where should we go next year? Let us know in the comments.
So we've done Blackpool, done Leeds, done Norwich. So let us know in the comments what should we do, what Christmas do next year.
Anyway, JSGC mixing our Christmas night out. 3rd consecutive year. Cheers, my friend. Thank you very much. Cracking night out. Where should we go next year? Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next one. Aaron's got more Christmas cocktails coming in well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you very much there to Mixed for providing today's halftime entertainment. Do go and check him out. Links and details, they are in the description as Manchester City are making their way back out of the tunnel, ready for the second half. As I said, City will just be bidding here to try and get another goal. And that hopefully will be Manchester City on their way into the fourth round of the FA Cup. Andy, thanks for tuning in. I presume Alisson there as well. Much appreciated. Says Jay, me and Mick Sid should come and join him and Alisson in York. York is on the agenda at some point. We have spoken about it very briefly. We've had our eyes... We've done Manchester a few times. We've had our eyes on Liverpool. Had our eyes on York as well. Chester, I think, has been mentioned briefly in the pipeline before too. You never know, my friend. You never know. Right, we do have the second half ready and waiting. Manchester City, I don't think they've made any changes at half-time. Attacking from right to left. Playing in their home shirts, sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. Taking on Huddersfield Town. Very much looking like New Zealand, playing in all black with little pink stripes on their sleeves today. They're attacking from left to right, Huddersfield Town. Here's Rico Lewis then for Manchester City. Works the ball to Josko Gvardiol. And here's Jack Grealish then. Andy says, just got home. Good to see the boys are doing us proud. Yeah, it's not been a classic first half performance. It's been very much a case of Man City having a lot of passes, a lot of possession, creating a couple of opportunities, not putting them away, but putting a couple of them away later in the first half and getting the job done as a big round of applause erupts around the stadium. And it's for Kevin De Bruyne, who's just gone to go and do his first warm-ups of the game. As I said, is today the day that we see Kevin De Bruyne return for Manchester City? I certainly hope so. Jeremy Doku could also come into contention as well on the substitute bench for Manchester City. And I think I would probably recommend that Man City do utilise them 5 subs as a strong team out here. And I know that we've not played in 8 days, and the turnaround for our next game is 6 days, which is plenty of recovery time for Manchester City. But there's still a good opportunity here just to get an extra bit of rest, and you're never going to decline rest, in particular in what's going to be a really big push in the business end of the season, in that second half of the season for Manchester City. And we don't want any injuries, needless injuries, when they don't need to, any players don't need to be on the pitch. And that's a good pass into space, and Oscar Bobb can't get his shot away, and it is blocked, although it does fall nicely here to Kovacic, and he drives across and gets a corner, the first corner of the second half here for Manchester City, as we're now 31 likes. Going to be tight, this one, but 31 likes away from 100 likes. Can we do it? Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Corner taken short then by Alvarez to Oscar Bobb. Works it to Phil Foden towards the edge of the penalty area. City just continuing to work it backwards. Here is Rico Lewis back to Julian Alvarez once more. Do Manchester City have anywhere to go? Foden just dinks a ball in. It's too deep and out for a goal kick there. And there's Man City not really utilising too well the short corner routine. It's been not as bad today. Been a couple of chances that City have managed to create off these short corner routines, but there's just nothing being created then. And in the end, a poor ball into the box and out for a goal kick. I'm not going to be too critical, because Huddersfield are so tall and so physical that I don't see how Manchester City would score off a ball into the box unless it is precise. You're going to struggle with the physicality of Huddersfield, so I wouldn't entertain getting involved in that battle as Huddersfield play a ball into the channel for Thomas to run onto. Again, the offside flag goes up nice and early, and again, the correct decision is made. Leisman doesn't want to run any risk of any players getting injured from going with a late flag. As we're now less than 30 likes away from 100 likes. We're now 29 likes away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. It's a good ball over to Rico Lewis here. Ruben Dias with the ball. And Jack Grealish just can't get past his man, and Huddersfield will win that ball back. Here is Josko Gvardiol for Manchester City then. There's not really been too much happening in the first 5 minutes or so of this second half. Not been much happening. Here is Oscar Bobb. It's a good floated cross towards Sergio Gomez. Gets it under control, but he's had to turn away from goal, which means he's going to have to go backwards. Josko Gvardiol just plays a ball into the channel. There's nobody there. And this is where you were seeing in the first half. So a good touch there by Pep Guardiola as the ball went out before. We were seeing the Huddersfield goalkeeper leaving them kind of balls into the box to go out for a goal kick so he could waste a little bit of time. But because of 2-0 down, can't be doing that. So he has to get the ball back into play as quickly as possible. So he stops it from going out, picks the ball up and distributes it rather quickly with no time wasted on, which you fancy that ball being played at a quicker pace, even with Huddersfield sitting with 11 men behind the ball, will suit Manchester City more than it will Huddersfield Town. But Man City continue just to probe, knocking the ball around. Here's Rico Lewis now into Oscar Bobb. Into the penalty area. Good drive and run this from Oscar Bobb, and tries to find a pass towards either one of Alvarez or Foden. In the end finds neither, and Huddersfield can get the ball clear. Here's Gvardiol mopping up really well for Manchester City. He's had a good game today, Gvardiol. I saw somebody ask at half-time, so I apologise for not replying then. I was just getting through all the other messages that it slipped on by my attention. I did see it, so I will address it now. But yeah, somebody asked who's my man of the match so far in at half-time. It's been a good defensive performance for Manchester City so far. Obviously a well-taken goal for Phil Foden, and playing in midfield and playing well once more. Julian Alvarez grabbing that goal for Manchester City as well. But I've been pretty impressed with Sergio Gomez's performance. Josko Gvardiol's looked very good for City. So I think I'd be half tempted to go with someone like Josko as my man of the match so far, but I'd probably just about give it to Julian Alvarez. Dad, thanks for tuning in, and your favourite microphone as well. I will add that potentially for the next live stream and maybe the one after, depending on if City go through and when we're playing, that we won't be able to see the microphone, unfortunately, as there will be a short temporary change of location. That's a good ball into the box. Bobb! It's wide. Wide there by Manchester City. Again, the ball just continuing to be knocked around by Manchester City. Huddersfield choose to send it long, and again the pressure's just going to be coming back. As Wojciech, thanks for tuning in once more, says thinks that as long as we don't get any more big injuries this season, then we could probably win the Premier League. It's all about keeping the players injury free, isn't it? And the players that we are getting back, we keep them injury free as well, which is easier said than done. As we're now 27 likes away from 100 likes. Here is Ruben Dias for City. Takes a ball across to the left-hand side. Jeremy Doku out warming up for City as well. Gomez goes to the byline, turns and finds Kovacic. And City just choosing to work this one sideways. Ruben Dias looked like he was lining up a Ruben rocket. We've not got Rodri playing, so we can't have a Rodri rocket today, but we could have had a Ruben rocket then. He looked like he were lining one up. He were doing a little stuttered feet, Roberto Carlos-esque. Takes the pass instead with the outside of his foot rather than going for goal. Here's Grealish now, 30 yards out from goal. Work to Sergio Gomez. Back to Jack Grealish. Here's Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias. Oh, he went for it this time. The Ruben Rocket. Blocked. Not quite the Rodri Rocket there. It was blocked for the Ruben Rocket. He goes for it on the second time. He couldn't resist. Here's Rico Lewis then to Matheus Nunes. Man City now completed nearly 600 passes. Andy and also Alison as well. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Here is Oscar Bobb for Manchester City. Finds Phil Foden. Back to Oscar Bobb. Can he get the shot away? He can't. Finds Julian Alvarez instead. Here's Ruben Dias. Growing a beard and growing his hair. Is the long hair becoming a theme? De Bruyne growing his hair. Ruben Dias growing his hair. How strange would it be to see Mateo Kovacic with hair? Here's Oscar Bobb. Drived into the penalty area. Rico Lewis on the overlap. His cross takes a deflection and straight into the hands of Nichols in goal for Huddersfield. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne coming on for Manchester City. They're going to do approximately 34 minutes here. Pep Guardiola sending them on earlier than I was expecting. Clearly not too worried about the risk of physicality, but I think more importantly, he wants to see how fit they are. With 26 likes then, guys, De Bruyne is coming on. Get them likes up. This needs to be a 100 like live stream. The return of KDB. And it's Julian Alvarez that's going to make way. And Jack Grealish is also going to come off. We're going to applaud them. As Seamus tells me, it's 2-2 now between Forest and Blackpool. And Jeremy Doku comes on for Jack Grealish, but there's going to be a massive cheer in the stadium as Julian Alvarez comes off. Goal scorer of Manchester City's second goal today. Well done, Julian. But it's all about Kevin De Bruyne. Prince Harry, captain's armband on, returns and makes his competitive debut of the season for Manchester City. It's January 7th. He got injured in pre-season. We've not seen him since. And oh, Kevin De Bruyne erupts around the Etihad Stadium. Love it. Absolutely love it. JSO, thanks for tuning in. Huddersfield's defence must be mortified at seeing Jeremy Doku and Kevin De Bruyne come on. Kovacic, oh, it's a good dink ball. And it looks like it's touched the arm of Nunes, but play continues. Oscar Bobb chips in KDB. He doesn't need to tap it in because Oscar Bobb's done enough to lob the keeper in off the underside of the crossbar. I don't think he means it, but it's 3-0 Manchester City. And it's a well-taken goal, even if it is a fluke for Oscar Bobb. And the Manchester City Norwegian youngster rounds off what has been a scintillating, captivating and dominating performance from Manchester City. And that third goal will mean that Manchester City progress in the third round. And we can look forward to the fourth round. And whoever Manchester City may face as we try and do something we've not done before. And that is retain the the FA Cup trophy. In off the underside of the crossbar. And I'll tell you what, if it didn't dip onto the underside of the crossbar, Kevin De Bruyne might have had a headed tap in there ready. I'm just wondering if it's handball by Matheus Nunes as he takes the control. I'm not too sure if it is here, the upper arm, which will be allowed, or whether it's dipped slightly below. I think the goal's been given, so that is the third goal that we're looking for. And I think this is an excellent opportunity now to get a couple of the young lads onto the pitch, in my opinion, as Huddersfield give the ball away. And it'll be interesting now, will the head drop? How many goals can Man City go and get? Because I'll tell you right now, De Bruyne Mr. Assists, will be looking for an assist. Jeremy Doku will be looking to get back in amongst the goals. I don't think that's the end of the goal scoring for Manchester City today. Here's Ruben Dias to Rico Lewis. Oscar Bobb, goal scorer, City's third. Ball gets played into the channel and KDB can't keep that one in, and that will go out for a goal kick. Oh, the scenes if De Bruyne scored that goal then. It just hit the crossbar and De Bruyne there for a headed tap-in. Oh, it'd have been special. Literally like 2 minutes into his returns with a goal, it'd have been special. As it is, Oscar Bobb can have the headlines and the plaudits instead. In off the underside of the bar. I don't think he means it. He won't care. It's a goal. It's Thomas here. In on goal! And it's a good save from Ortega-Moreno. There was the moment for the Huddersfield fans to go crazy for that goal. And Ortega-Moreno finally has a save to make. Huddersfield Town finally have had a shot and have finally done something and nearly got themselves a corner. Cleared, though, by Manchester City. Stu says he's watched many EDS games and Oscar Bobb was always one to watch. Pleased that he's come from the ranks to be a first-team player. He's a special, special talent. He is, of course, Man City's replacement for Cole Palmer, and I think Oscar Bobb will be very much a player in the next 2 or 3 seasons that we'll be speaking a lot about. Jay So says, what on earth is Ruben Dias doing there? He tries to body check Thomas. It doesn't work. He doesn't take out the man. I think he's just trying to go shoulder to shoulder with him. And Thomas is smart. He just hesitates his run. Ruben Dias runs past him. And he's in for a tap-in, one-on-one with the keeper. It's a good save from Ortega-Moreno, though. Huddersfield Town take their opportunity to make their first sub of the game. Matos on the yellow card goes off and Radulovic comes on. Seamus says it was on the sleeve line and above. So here, all right, looking at this area, your shoulder area. Upper part of your arm and your shoulder area, which of course isn't handball, dips below onto the arm, so probably easier to show you on my left arm. So this area is okay, but it starts dipping here, just above where your elbow is, as Seamus correctly says, where your sleeve line is on your t-shirt. So I have a t-shirt on under this, and my t-shirt ends here. So anything here and below would be classed as handball. Here, dubious. I think that's open for interpretation on the officials and the VAR. Up here and across to your chest area, of course, not handball. Here's Josko Gvardiol for Manchester City then. Still 28 minutes remaining. More than enough time for Man City to go out there and grab a few more goals. Here's Rico Lewis. Finds Kevin De Bruyne. Goes with the cross and out for a corner to Manchester City, which you imagine KDB's going to take. He takes it short. And I think the linesman says he wants it retaken because the ball was still rolling. I don't think I've ever seen that before. A corner has to be retaken because the ball was still rolling. De Bruyne to take, so he's going to whip this one in. Are we going to see a De Bruyne assist? Headed clear there by Huddersfield. Ruben Dias was the man looking for it. Jeremy Doku trying to use his pace. He's just gone down, Jeremy Doku there. He's back on his feet, which is good. Weren't the best of balls in from Doku. And Thomas up against Phil Foden, beat him with the pace. And Ortega-Moreno can mop that one up for City, and City can think about their next attack. Stu says he reckons letting Zinchenko leave was an awful decision too. To be fair, he wanted to leave. De Bruyne just tries to thread a ball through to Oscar Bobb there. Any player that wants to leave Manchester City will be allowed to leave the club. So it's not through Alexander Zinchenko being forced out the club. It was more Alexander Zinchenko wanted to leave Manchester City. I always had my doubts about his defensive abilities, to be fair. He was never a natural left back. I thought Zinchenko offered more to Manchester City than Sergio Gomez, which is who Manchester City replaced Alexander Zinchenko with. even when we had Zinchenko, I was always calling out for more centre-backs, more holding midfielders, and more left-backs, because I just didn't think Zinchenko was the long-term option for Manchester City. He had a really good working attitude, though, and he was a really nice fella. And he was always very much Mr. Likeable. Since going to Arsenal, he seems to have gone more and more emotional, complaining and things. I'm not sure. Maybe Arsenal has that effect if you join them as a player. Yeah, you know, it's a little bit like joining Liverpool, isn't it? You automatically become more entitled, that you want to have a moan and a complain about everything. You saw the emotions from Arsenal last season, game after game after game, running on emotion. That's lovely. Well worked! Oh, wow! Wow! That was absolutely brilliant. Phil Foden. Take a bow, my friend. Take a bow. 4-0 Manchester City. Erling Haaland has a massive cheeky grin on his face. He is a special, special talent. The Stockport Iniesta. De Bruyne plays a pass to Sergio Gomez. It's lovely, lovely flick from Mateo Kovacic. And there's Phil Foden looking for another man of the match performance. Tucked away, 20 yards out. Keeper stands, no chance. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's breathtaking. I don't have any more adjectives. I don't know how else to describe that. That, to me, is one of the best goals that I have seen Manchester City score. Now, I'm often very critical of Man City's short corner routine because there's no routine. They're guessing. They've not worked on anything. That's straight off the training ground. They've worked on that. Each player knew what they wanted to do, where they needed to be, and did it so perfectly. The build-up of it is great, but the finish... That finish, guys. Wow. There's a wall of defenders for Foden to beat. There's a goalkeeper to beat. It's 20 yards out. It's not an easy finish. He takes no touch. He just goes first time on his left foot. Perfect. That is a perfect goal scored by Phil Foden. He's on a hat-trick now. And De Bruyne goes low towards Foden. It goes back to De Bruyne. And how much more creative do Man City look with De Bruyne in the team? Dad's happy with a 5-0. So he needs the 5 points for his Super 6. JSO says, what a corner tactic. Spot on, my friend. Brilliant tactic. Here's Phil Foden. Can't get the ball out from under his feet. Goes to Kevin De Bruyne instead. Mike says, thinking 4-1 for this game, but he's starting to think it might be 6-0 as Doku goes to the byline and Huddersfield can scramble it clear, and all of a sudden this 10 men behind the ball, it's looking tired, it's looking stretched, it's De Bruyne! Just over the top of the crossbar. Man City look hungry here. You feel like a statement win is on its way. KDB goes close. 4-0 it remains here. It takes just 2 touches, De Bruyne, 30 yards out. Keeper's scrambling. That's on target. You ain't saving them. Andy, you're absolutely spot on. That blue shirt looks sensational on Kevin De Bruyne. So he's looking like King Colin with the longer hair as well. I'm telling you, the world's not ready for long-haired Kevin De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne is going to be a little bit slower than what he used to be. Naturally, a little bit older, and he's obviously had a serious injury to his thigh, so he's naturally may slow up a little bit. But I think he's going to age like fine wine, King Kevin. I think you're going to see more varied passing range from De Bruyne. De Bruyne doing things we've yet to see Kevin De Bruyne do. I described it on the City Extra stream the other day. I think if you want to look at Man City's midfield and you keep speaking about these players sitting a little bit deeper, who's going to go into them roles? I think De Bruyne is perfect for it. Think of him like Andre Pirlo when he was getting on and he was still just pinging them 60, 70 yard passes with precision. Like he was asleep. And he was doing it in his dreams. That's what I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to be. He's such a naturally gifted passer of the football. He's a special talent. I think he'll slow down, and I think his passes will get even better. Here's Huddersfield coming forward. They want that goal, the through ball. It nearly came. It could still come here. It could still come. Here's Thomas. Is he going to go first time? He does go first time, and there's Josko Gvardiol. The Rock says... It's not going past me. Another cross comes in and Ortega-Moreno's there to say, you know what, I want to keep another clean sheet. Remember, Man City's run to the FA Cup final last season, we kept a clean sheet in every single round, right up from the third round through to the final. We didn't keep a clean sheet in the final against Manchester United. The only time we conceded in the FA Cup was that Bruno Fernandes penalty in the final. Loving all the positivity surrounding Kevin De Bruyne there. I think Vocek's spot on there. Kevin De Bruyne prime. I think it's finished. It's not even started yet. I think De Bruyne turns down a move to Saudi Arabia in the summer. I think he says, I've got unfinished business at Manchester City. I want to go to a god level, a level that no one else has ever been to at Manchester City. And he wants to be the man that leads us there. And I think he can. Rico Lewis goes with a deep cross. Revox reckons Kev scoring. Heard it here first. So before Vocek saying Foden hat-trick incoming. Means we might see a couple more goals. Could be time for 6 or more. Seamus says this time for KDB it could show just how good he is. That he'll need to use his head more with less movement around the pitch. Yeah, it will. It's going to take De Bruyne to adapt. I'm telling you, it's going to be Pirlo 2.0. Here's Huddersfield now into a good position after Kevin De Bruyne gives the ball away. City 2 scramble the ball back and Jeremy Doku brought down. He goes down. That'll be a free kick. And I think what Pep Guardiola's doing here, it's so smart of Pep Guardiola. He's testing the fitness of Doku and De Bruyne ahead of next weekend against Newcastle. I don't think either player will start. He won't want to run the risk again. It's great when you're, 2-0 up in the FA Cup and cruising against Huddersfield Town in the Championship. I think he'll get him off the bench next weekend against against Newcastle. And he'll look to try and get some competitive Premier League action in their legs. And if they're responding really well, let them rest and regroup in that winter break, which City will almost likely will head to the UAE, to Abu Dhabi for that. And then when we come back for the 4th round of the FA Cup, which Man City will be in, because we're 4-0 up here, you'll see both Doku and De Bruyne start that game. The bill, I'm hoping that we'll win our case against the Premier League as well, be able to clear our name. Will be a big boost for the club. Of course, in this club statement, they said at the time, back in February of last year, that they were really looking forward to having a chance to clear their name, so it's a chance to do so. So interesting to see what's made of it, what the judgment is, and what the responses are to that as well. All kinds of outcomes have been discussed. So we'll see. So I won't worry too much about that if I were you guys. That's always been my message about it. What will be, and we'll take things in our course. And in terms of financial fair play becoming illegal, I don't see that happening. I don't see them. The only way I can see that being outlawed is through the legal term and saying financial fair play doesn't hold any. Doesn't hold up in court as De Bruyne just plays the ball in here to Oscar Bobb. Back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne flicks one in. Doku! Kevin De Bruyne assisted and Doku returns with a goal! What we love to see! Oh, the gritty comes in as well from Jeremy Doku. They've been back for less than 20 minutes. Kevin De Bruyne assist. Jeremy Doku goal. You can't say fairer than that. 5-0 Manchester City, cruising their way in to the 4th round How many more can Man City add is the question, and I said it was so important for Huddersfield in their bid to try and stay in the Championship that they need to try and keep this score down so it doesn't become demoralising for them. They achieved nothing off being battered by Manchester City today, and that is what is happening. The players' confidence will be shattered. It'll be an all-time low after this, I'm telling you right now. The two injured players come back and combine and score for Manchester City. It's a lovely finish from Jeremy Doku. It's a lovely assist for Kevin De Bruyne. A little gritty hit by Jeremy Doku as well. Good stuff. As Kovacic comes off for Manchester City. And we are going to see a first senior debut coming in. And Phil Foden's also going to come off for Ethan Hamilton, which is good to see. Sorry, Mika Hamilton. Phil Foden doesn't get his hat-trick today. He comes off. Just a brace for Philip. Just a brace. That second goal was a thing of beauty from Foden. Absolute thing of beauty. So Mika Hamilton, a chance to see him, comes on for Manchester City. As Wright comes on making his senior first team debut for City, comes on for Kovacic. Interesting to see what he can do. He's an England under-19 international and a product of the City Football Academy at this moment in time. Seamus says still 2-2 between Forest and Blackpool. So Sika reckons this could be a 7-0 victory today for Manchester City. Things you love to see. Right, we're 22 likes then, guys, away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget as well to subscribe if you are new around here. That would be great as well. Here is Mika Hamilton. As we are just 2 subscribers away from being less than 100 subs away from 33,000 subscribers. So if we could hit them final 2 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, do subscribe and you could be the 32,900th subscriber of the JSGC channel. Revox reckons he's got a vision of De Bruyne scoring and it's going to come from the penalty spot. Thank you very much, Vocek. It says, can everybody start dropping them likes? We're now 21 likes away. Let's get to 100. 21 to go. Here comes Ruben Dias for Manchester City. Leading by 5-0 here at the Etihad. Oh, it's a good ball from Rico Lewis. Here's Hamilton. Goes low and it's well defended. And out for another corner to Manchester City. He's such an exciting prospect, Mika Hamilton. Such an exciting prospect. I couldn't believe how good he was in that away match against Red Star in the Champions League. And ever since I've seen him then, I've just wanted to see more and more of him. I think he's such an exciting player. Deserves to be kept around the first team squad for me. Taken short. De Bruyne goes in with a good cross and dealt with well by Huddersfield. And another shot comes in. This time from Sergio Gomez. And it's out for another corner. I think the keeper got fingertips onto that. Nichols. I don't think Nichols has had too bad of a game for Huddersfield. And he's conceded 5. Which shows you just how much of a dominating performance this has been for Manchester City. And it was one of them that we spoke about. Just need Man City to score that 1. Came on the 33rd minute and the floodgates start to open. Here is Jeremy Doku now to Oscar Bobb. Kevin De Bruyne plays a pass in towards Gomez and it's good defending. Takes a flick off the studs of the Huddersfield man and out for another corner to Manchester City. Stephen says De Bruyne back at the perfect time. Reckons Arsenal going to be bricking it. I reckon Liverpool will be bricking it as well. Everybody is. The sight of Kevin De Bruyne returning is something that sends shivers down the spines of all the opponents to Manchester City. And why wouldn't it? He's one of the greatest midfielders in the world. Man City not having him means we're not as good. We have him back. The morale of the opponents drops when you see a player like Kevin De Bruyne in midfield. I love that from Seamus. It says Rodri has a deal with the players that if he scores 10 goals, then they've all got to tuck the shirts in like he likes to. I know Kovacic likes to tuck his shirt in as well. I reckon if I played at a professional level in football, I reckon I'd tuck my shirt in as well. I always have my shirt tucked in anyway. I just find it more comfortable. And De Bruyne finds Doku. Doku goes with a first-time ball across. There's far too much pace on that. No real accuracy and out for a throw-in. 10 minutes remain here then. As we're now 18 likes away. I said it's going to be tight for 100 likes this. 10 minutes, 18 likes. Let's get them likes up, ladies and gents. Any help towards that would be absolutely brilliant. As we're 2 subs away still from 32,900 subscribers. Just going to have a quick check as we approach the full-time whistle for the other FA Cup games. Currently Luton Town 0, Bolton 0 in the 87th minute. Diarra comes on for Koroma for Huddersfield. City are 5-0 up here. Nottingham Forest 2, Blackpool 2, Peterborough 0, Leeds 2, Shrewsbury 0, Wrexham 1. Wrexham have found an opening goal there. It's not. You know what? It's like a derby, Shrewsbury Wrexham. They're not too far off each other. West Brom 3, Aldershot 0. West Brom clearly taking the foot off the gas after being 3-0 up there in the first half. And West Ham 1, Bristol City 1. And Huddersfield play a pass forward, and it's too much on it. And Ortega-Moreno wants to keep that clean sheet, just mops that one up. Huddersfield dying to try and just get a goal against Manchester City. As we're now 16 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Who do I reckon is going to win between Arsenal and Liverpool later on today? I think Arsenal win that game, close game, 2-1 is my prediction. Here's De Bruyne. Nearly finds Hamilton with a lovely weighted pass. Jackson reads it and puts the ball out for a throw-in. Here is Rico Lewis for Manchester City to Ruben Dias. Here's De Bruyne. The urgency from City since De Bruyne and Doku have come on has been very noticeable, and it's caused all kinds of problems for this tired Huddersfield defence. Seamus reckons 3-2 Liverpool. One way or another, a top 4 teams going out today. Seen Spurs already go through. Manchester City are going through. Chelsea have gone through. Manchester United playing tomorrow night against Wigan Athletic away from home. Liverpool and Arsenal going toe for toe. Aston Villa, I think, have gone through as well. For all the teams that are doing well so far this season. Newcastle, of course, won the Tyne-Wear derby yesterday with ease against Sunderland away. Here's Oscar Bobb. Oscar Bobb goes down. He wants a penalty. And the referee says no penalty. Now, for me, it's either a penalty or it's a dive from Oscar Bobb. He goes down under a challenge. Let's have a look at it. VAR is in operation, by the way. So if this is a penalty, it will get given. Does he take a touch is the question. I think he's just kind of muscled to the ground. I don't think any touch comes in, which is what would have been the penalty. I don't think there is any touch, and he just kind of drags his foot down to the ground. And do you know what? I am quite surprised that the referee's made the correct decision. I don't think it is a penalty. I'm quite surprised the referee hasn't booked him for simulation there. He does ask for the penalty at the end. There's nothing much in it in the challenge from behind in being the defender being over physical. I don't think that's a free kick. There's no touch that comes in, and he kind of drags his foot down there. Not a penalty. I'm surprised he's not booked him for simulation. Here's Gvardiol to Nunes. Of course, the substitute that came on for Manuel Akanji in the first half, who's gone off injured. Hopefully he's okay from his left knee injuries. We're now 15 likes away from 100 likes. Let's get them likes up, guys. 15 to go. We've got 6 minutes plus whatever's to be added on to try and achieve that. Here is Hamilton for Manchester City on the right wing to Matheus Nunes. This is like Man City are just completely bossing this game. Completely bossing it. Completely dominating it. No surprise at all that BBC have decided to award their man of the match today to Phil Foden. I'm going to match them with that as well. That second goal's a thing of... excuse me, it's a thing of beauty. Go and check it out if you're not watching the game or you've not seen that goal. It is a thing of absolute beauty. As we're now one subscriber away from 32,900, sorry. Just one subscriber away. So if you're watching this, who wants to be my 32,900th sub? Do subscribe and you can have that pleasure. As we're still aiming for 100 likes. We're 15 away. Can we get there? They're the big questions. Here is Ruben Dias for Manchester City. Gives the ball to Hamilton. Here's Rico Lewis now for Manchester City. And it's great to see so many young players. Wright, Hamilton, Lewis, all on the pitch. All doing very well. De Bruyne, Matheus Nunes. Lovely combo of passes there. We're seeing some combinations that we've not seen before. De Bruyne X Doku. De Bruyne X Nunes. De Bruyne goes across the box. Picked up by Hamilton. To Rico Lewis now. Here is Matheus Nunes. As we do hit 32,900 subs, so our live subscriber count can clock over, which is a fantastic effort, as we're now less than 100 subs away from 33k. So any help towards that would be sensational. Here is Sergio Gomez to Kevin De Bruyne. To Wright. Rico Lewis now to Kevin De Bruyne once more. Sergio Gomez. Just been worked backwards here by City. Not the greatest ball into the box, that, and that'll just be collected by Nichols. And the motivation here for Huddersfield is they just want a goal, as Pep Guardiola is literally just sat leaning in his chair like a mafia boss, literally just like an overlord, just overlooking his complete dominated performance from his team. It's brilliant to see. Here's Thomas. He's looked really lively for Huddersfield. He's looked like the most likeliest outlet, really. Comes in into the penalty area, and there's another shot, and it's a good save from Ortega-Moreno, and Huddersfield cry for a penalty, pleading, begging for a penalty. Please, referee, give us something to celebrate, something for us to head back on the, the M62 to go back home and celebrate, because at the moment, we've just not done anything. They wanted a handball on De Bruyne, doesn't come. Pass comes in, he's offside, Thomas there, and there's the end of that phase. So we can have a look at this handball now. Thomas looks frustrated. As I said, he's looked like the most likeliest outlet for Huddersfield, I think, today. Get another replay. Let's have a look at this handball then, this handball appeal. It looks like it comes off his knee, not his hand. Desperate comes to mind. Really does, as we're 14 likes away now. Let's get them likes up. 14 to go. We're nearly into the nervous 90s. 14 likes to go. Ortega-Moreno's had to make a couple of good saves to keep his clean sheet intact. And it's always good. To me, clean sheet's just as good as getting goals, as Wiles comes off and Iopenda comes on for Huddersfield. 12 likes now to go. 12. Let's get these likes up. We're nearly there. 12 to go. Here's De Bruyne now to Hamilton. Matheus Nunes. Jeremy Doku on the left-hand side here for Manchester City. Gives the ball to Sergio Gomez. Ruben Dias. He had the run of De Bruyne on the right. He doesn't use it. Doesn't use it. That might be something else that we see. This right wing's always been a bit of bit of trouble for Manchester City. The De Bruyne could be one of them players that takes that role. And that looked like a perfectly good challenge from Matheus Nunes. Referee penalises him, steps across, gets the ball, doesn't take the man. I think that's a good challenge. Never mind, Huddersfield just play one pass forward and is given away. City can have possession again. Here is Hamilton for Manchester City then to right combo the two Manchester City youngsters on the bench today that have come off the bench, which is good to see. As we're now 11 likes away, we're nearly into the nervous 90s. 11 likes to go to 100 likes. I wonder how long the referee's going to add on here. It seems really pointless to start adding on, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Realistically, game's dead, 5-0, nobody wants any injuries. Blow the whistle, done and dusted, and we can go from there. Here is Wright getting into a good position, finds Oscar Bobb, just tries to thread a pass through to Kevin De Bruyne, and he follows through on the ground trying to find the pass and takes the man out in a free kick given against Oscar Bobb, so that stops that opportunity there, and that will send us into the 90th minute now. Steven said it was looking like Pepe's building for when Bernardo leaves. I mean, the release clause is active this summer, 50 million euros. It's a lot, like 44, 45 million quid in today's market. It's very affordable for a team. Might not be affordable for Barcelona, but it's very affordable for lots of other top teams if they want to take up that option, and Bernardo does want to go there. A PSG, a Real Madrid or somebody, and it's a release clause. There's nothing Man City can do about it. Although we do wait the finer details of the release clause. Imagine Premier League teams would be interested in Bernardo Silva for such a price, but I can't imagine Man City would want to sell to Bernardo Silva. But if it's a release clause and it is active for Premier League teams, then there's nothing Man City can do about it. Surely City have been smart enough to say that if there is a release clause that can only be met by teams outside of the Premier League, you'd think that City would put that in operation. As we're into the first of 3 minutes added on here. Here is Jeremy Doku now. Oh, it's a lovely pass into Hamilton. Have a shot. Mika, have a shot. Chooses not to, and he has to turn. Kingsley says, my prediction about to happen. Well done, my friend. Much appreciated. Coming in with the banger of the predictions. Mystic Kingsley. New name. I'm miles out of my 2-0. I'm well negative, me. JSGC out. Free kick Man City. Good area this. 30, 35 yards out. Shootable range. A very 90s haircut from Kevin De Bruyne. It's almost Jack Grealish-esque, his haircut. With the long, thick locks. As Man City award there. Man of the match to Phil Foden as well. So BBC, Emirates FA Cup, Manchester City have all, and me, have all awarded Phil Foden with the man of the match performance. You'll notice on Man City's sleeve they're not wearing the Emirates FA Cup logo. I did read about it the other day and I can't remember the reason behind it. You notice Huddersfield have got it on their sleeve. Manchester City haven't. I'm fairly sure it's something to do with Emirates. Someone might be able to enlighten me in the chat. As a shot comes in straight into the wall from Sergio Gomez. We've got 50 seconds of the game remaining. Here is KDB, just pings a pass. Look at that for a ping of a pass straight to Jeremy Doku. Takes the touch, but it is intercepted. So Man City may have a bit of defending to do, and Huddersfield have the last chance to come forward, and that looked like it touched the hand of Wright, but it's not given, and Josko Gvardiol goes sliding in to make the interception, and he gets a stud in the arm for it. And a yellow card comes out as well. Excuse me. It's late, that as well. Andy said it's because our main sponsor is Etihad, so it's all to do with the airlines. Is it a conflict of interest between Etihad and Emirates? Yeah, Stu's saying it's due to the sponsor of Etihad. So I'm sure it's Etihad that don't want it there. I didn't know that they weren't allowed to have both. Or is it Etihad not wanting it? I don't know. Anyway, there's conflict of interest to confirm. There we go. My suspicions are confirmed. We get a nice cardboard cutout of the FA Cup. It's not an FA Cup third round match unless you see a cardboard cutout of the FA Cup, is it really? There we go. Full-time whistle does go. We are into the nervous 90s. 9 likes to go whilst I go through the post-match analysis and promo. Can we hit 100 likes? Any help towards that would be absolutely fantastic. We've, of course, already hit 32,900 subs. So please do subscribe. That would be fantastic as well. We're continuing the growth of the channel, and we're now less than 100 subs away from that. Remember, I do have daily Manchester City transfer updates returning from tomorrow. Do apologise, I've just been super busy this weekend with getting things sorted that I've not managed to do them this weekend, but we will be back again, of course, from tomorrow for them to return for you guys to enjoy. So do subscribe. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the live chat, and do let me know your thoughts as well. That would be much appreciated. As we'll just go through the full-time scores from the FA Cup, and we'll go through the statistics of the game, as we now have 6 likes to go. So please do leave a thumbs up. 5 likes to go. Please do leave a thumbs up. We're nearly there. 5 to go. Any help towards that would be great. Return to Kevin De Bruyne as well. Surely it's got to be 100 like live stream. As full-time scores then: Luton Town 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. Manchester City 5, Huddersfield Town 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Blackpool 2, Peterborough 0, Leeds United 3, Shrewsbury 0, Wrexham 1, West Brom 4, Aldershot Town 1 and West Ham 1, Bristol City 1. You do have Arsenal taking on Liverpool at 4:30pm GMT later on today. Remember, 4th round draw, which Manchester City will be in, is live tomorrow at approximately 10 to 8 p.m. GMT, with Manchester City's name in the draw there just before the Wigan Athletic v Manchester United game. So, very quickly then, to do the stats before I crack on with doing my match reaction video for you guys to enjoy. It is the statistics. Manchester City winning by 5-0. A brace for Phil Foden on 33 minutes and 65 minutes. A goal for Julian Alvarez as well on 37 minutes. It's been classed as a Ben Jackson own goal rather than an Oscar Bobb goal for that 3rd goal for Manchester City on 58 minutes. And Jeremy Doku on 74 minutes with an assist for the return of Kevin De Bruyne as well. City having 84% possession, 18 shots, 7 on target. Not a great return, but 5 goals. Super clinical today from Manchester City, which is exactly what we needed. 958 passes. We fell 42 short of them 1,000 passes. Just 179 passes for Huddersfield Town, but they did manage a couple of shots in that second half. 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 saves for Stefan Ortega-Moreno to make. But overall, very convincing from Manchester City, and they win by 5-0. Thank you, Seamus, for tuning in. So Sika, Stu as well, thank you all for tuning in. Kingsley as well, well done to you for getting the correct prediction. Nadir says Gvardiol still clutching his shoulder. Akanji, Gvardiol injured. It's a defensive disaster class for Manchester City. Hopefully they'll be okay to go for next weekend's game away against Newcastle United, which will be my next live stream watch along for you guys to enjoy. So I will see you guys again next weekend. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. We're now 5 likes away from 100 likes. If we can hit that in the post-production, that would be great. Do subscribe. Social media links in the description. And also don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this after the game. And I'll see you all very soon for the next Manchester City video. My match reaction will be out in the next hour for you guys to enjoy. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.